So I was asked inside a Twitch chat, why don't I start the YouTube stream before I go? It's because I use OBS for both, and I have to end the stream in order to change where I stream to my knowledge. So that's the reason why I don't start up the YouTube stream before I go to YouTube.
One of the things that triggers me the most, the thing that actually triggers me the most isn't Max, it's actually that LiveStreamfails. That stupid dude, I showed so much charity and patience with her, and I did with Max too, to be fair as well. And for her to like be running with the most insane stories ever, like actually is unbelievable to me. Like I sheltered that stupid so much over that stupid Hassan rumor that she wanted to spread, which by the way, she said under Discord like 2 nights ago, that girl actually was 17. I don't know if Lav like can't do basic math, but like I know who the person is. I know when she said they hooked up. I can look up the years. Like she's just insane. But like, have you heard that they've twisted that story into me manipulating Lav? Did you hear this?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so Lav has this story that she likes to tell because she
turn up the vid volume.
She's obsessed with getting attention on the internet, where she lies and she says that Hassan f***ed a friend when she was 17 years old. Okay. This is a lie. It's just completely and totally 100% false. And that's why she got raked over the coals on the internet for it. Okay. So one, she's lied about that. But two, she wanted to say that on my stream a couple of times because she told it to me personally. Okay. But I don't think it's true. And when I gave that information to somebody else, when she first told me, I think I shared it with, I don't want to say his name, or if he cares, he can say it in chat. But I shared this information with someone else, and he did a ton of digging. He was like, "Oh, like I looked into this, like it's bullshit, 100%." I was like, oh, "Okay." So when Lav wanted to talk about it on stream, I was like, "Hey, we're not talking about that here." And then people like Trainwrecks and Zerka,
Ahrelevant didn't know Desi was streaming from SeaWorld. Damn, yeah, I know. Holy fuck.
Are getting back to me like, "Bro, I've got some crazy info on Hassan that I've heard." Like, holy shit. And I'm like, "Don't ever publicize this," because I know who it's coming from, and all of it was coming from Lav because she talks about it everywhere, right? So I basically told Lav, like, dude, you need to chill on this because you're gonna get destroyed if you leak this shit and it comes back to you. You're gonna get absolutely obliterated. And Shaylin and Max and Lav are all saying that I did that as a form of blackmail over Lav.
Huh.
That basically I'm saying that like, oh, like now I think Lav actually introduced this saying
for you that would be the worst blackmail. It's like, hey Steve, don't tell my secret or I'm
yeah, they use
I'm going to tell everyone something about Bosch. You're like, oh no, please, no, don't do it.
They keep using this phrase like, oh, he's stealing my narrative. Like, I'm going to leak the secret and make her look bad. But the problem is that, like, one, her secret is not even true. Two, it wouldn't make me look... I don't even know. Actually, wait, I'm trying to think. Because Shaylin and Max and her all believe this. I don't even know how they make this work in their mind. That I'm blackmailing her with a secret that's not about her, that's not even true. Yeah, I don't know. And then she leaked it, and everything that I said was going to...
Yeah, I thought it was me and Chud Logic were racking our brains over it as well, live on stream when we, you know, read the thing. I was like, how the fuck is that blackmail? How the fuck is Steven blackmailing her with that? And even if Steven was blackmailing her with that, why is she talking about it in public discords? It doesn't make any sense. So Steven is blackmailing you, and he's this weird bully, but he's blackmailing you with something that you yourself are talking about in public discords? Doesn't make any sense. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're all just really, really dumb or something. I don't know.
Happened. I was like, bro, if you leak this, it's gonna...
Or it's just malicious.
Destroy. And it did, because it was wrong, and she did leak it. And I'm like, you're so stupid.
I think they're just being malicious at this point.
But yeah, I can't
believe
Jesus
they're that dumb.
Christ, it's so annoying. Wasn't it that you were holding it over her head? Yeah, but I wasn't. She was already spreading the secret on... like, she'd said it in Chud's Discord server. She'd obviously told Zerka and Train, or it got back to them somehow. Like, so obviously she'd already been telling the secret to everybody. It's not like it was a well-kept secret. Like, God, it's so unbelievably moronic.
What's the latest with you and Mrgirl? Let's just get into it now, right at the beginning, and just I've seen some comments that you posted, and yeah,
he's just I truly don't know what to.
Defending Lab, particularly saying Destiny blackmailed her, pretty nuts, refusing to answer quest statements. The end of the Dr. K investigation, the current Destiny investigation, and doing investigations in general. I don't think I said he blackmailed her, but I did explain her claim that he did. Dr. K was more of an analysis of publicly available information. Shaylin especially definitely claims she did. I got the impression, along with, from what I can tell, most people, that you were backing this up, and I'm pretty sure you had a Reddit post making the claim. I can check. I was answering the question of how can Destiny blackmail someone with somebody else's secret. I said, here's how the blackmail works. I've not seen the proof that he blackmailed her, but I do see how that style of blackmail works. What? Doomer links a Reddit link. This reads like a defense. If you don't think she was blackmailed, that's a good thing to clear up publicly. The idea that Destiny blackmailed her is one of the most ludicrous claims I've heard in my time being online. Steven does plenty of questionable things. That's not one of them.
I'm not sure. Like, I don't know how to deal with somebody that is that level of insanity. And, like, yeah, it's just, I'm not sure. He's reached out to...
Probably she feels like the don't talk about this was a threat and not a piece of advice. Okay, let me put it... These people are either so dumb that they need these people are either so dumb that any individual that tries to have sex with them are raping them because they're incapable of giving consent. They are that cognitively unable, or they're just malicious fucking weirdos that are trying to play defense whenever they get called out on shit. And I am more willing to assume that because they can fucking operate a motor vehicle and because they can fucking operate a computer, that they're probably just malicious fucking weirdos on some of these things. They're spiteful, they're weird, I don't know. I refuse to believe that somebody in earnest can believe these things.
I've got like a list now of like every person that contacts me. I think there's 23 different individuals that he's reached out to so far.
I can't believe anything otherwise.
And it's just, yeah, it's just unbelievable. But he's like a terrorist conversation. There's 23 different individuals that he's reached out to so far to have conversations. And it's just, yeah, it's just unbelievable. But he's like a terrorist. Like he can't be bargained with. There's no way to stop him.
Well, your subreddit has a lot of power. To be honest, it's
yeah.
Well, I guess he would probably say that it's not because of that. It's because.
When was the last time you spoke to Mrgirl? I don't remember the exact date. And do you think you'll speak to him again? Maybe.
Because he.
I have no problem with speaking with people that I even think are like malicious or whatever. It's the issue that I have is speaking with people who are about things that I think that they're like going to try and manipulate me or get one up on me about. That's what I have an issue with. Like, I'll fucking talk to, just about anybody. The question is what I'll talk to them about. I'm not going to share any secrets with them, obviously. Sorry, but from when is this vid? Also, why? Sorry, joining late. It's just, I have no idea when the OG content is from, but the video was posted a couple hours ago. I'm just looking at it because it has new logs I haven't seen.
Internally and felt like he was abused, and then something clicked and he realized that you were an abuser, right?
Hold up, what? You were frustrated that Chud commented on the drama without commenting on all of it, i.e. criticizing Lab but not hearing your side, or discussing things you were concerned with. It may well have been a quest statement, but there is nothing wrong with doesn't that clash with your treatment of Lav? If you're going to defend her, retweet her manifesto, etc., doesn't that involve you and make you culpable in discussing the situation in full? And if not, why expect Chud to comment in full on previous situation? I mean, from a personal perspective, I can see why you see no contradiction, but as a public figure, I can tell you how it looks quite hypocritical. Yeah, that's because you're brainwashed. Oh my god.
And felt like he was abused, and then something clicked and he realized that you were an abuser, right? So I think he probably 100%.
Yeah, but the subreddit thing was what triggered it, because I didn't give him a chance to defend himself and I wasn't protecting him or some stupid. But
he probably.
Why is the audio doing?
Really feels like. I mean, I guess I don't know. How do you deal with this? If he genuinely feels like. Here's the thing I don't understand. There has to be bigger issues than spending your time to go after you. Even if, let's say.
Oh yeah. How about
that you are an abuser? There's got to be better uses of your time to cause good in the world besides going after Steven.
Or how about going after Lav, who has a track history of like making false allegations, of being insane online, of potentially scamming people with a GoFundMe, like all this shit. Like, maybe wouldn't she be a better person to investigate? But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just cringe as But yeah, he literally has nothing going on in his life but to like contact every single person I've ever spoken to and then do that.
I don't know how he feels. Like something must have clicked when all this happened, that he was like, wait a second, this is abuse.
Yeah, we had
feels like he didn't feel
two
it
major
before.
disagreements, and when you disagree with a narcissist, you're basically like denying them their reality. Like, so I'm pretty sure that's all that happened. The Nazi thing was a big thing, and then disagreeing over the subreddit thing was a big thing. And this is like the death knell to like or death knell or whatever to like narcissists. Like the fact that you could ever disagree with them is like just doesn't compute. It's not possible.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, he tells this lie on stream that Shilin was the one that made him realize it, but that's not true. Does this change how you handle crazy people on stream? I'm mind reading way more now. I'm not gonna be as charitable. I've been shouting at Annalisa and DMs. I'm not gonna be as nice to you morons anymore. I'm gonna start coming down on you guys harder when you act stupid. You're not getting as much charitability from me. 2023 is gonna be me being actually like way more like no more of that bullshit. Been way too nice.
Meaning what? We're not gonna have crazy people on stream?
No, but when somebody's acting crazy, I'm not gonna play. I'm going to translate, through 57 different volumes of speech to make your shit sound palatable. If you're having this much trouble communicating with people, you're going to start getting called the fuck out on it. I'm going to start aggressively muting people that can't handle that in Discord until they leave.
At what point?
Sweet! All right. That's decent. We're moving on.
Maybe he does actually have 20 plus victims. Maybe. That's possible.
All right. We're continuing the review of this.
If that's the standard.
If you want me to watch a different video, give me $20. That's how this works.
And I don't succumb to peer pressure. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. That's why I think I'm the person for the job. If you can name somebody who you think would be better, I don't think you can.
Well, my next question is going to be,
Move Cam.
if there was somebody else who had all of these qualities, except for the fact that they were not calling themselves an abuse victim by him, but they had the same amount of empathy. Mrgirl approved levels of empathy.
Yeah.
Would you have asked them to run the investigation instead of you and work with you on the article after they got their investigative findings together to eliminate this conflict of interest?
I don't know.
Do you think it would be the right thing to do even if you couldn't bring yourself to do that?
I don't know.
What?
It's hard to. I think me counting myself among
and 2x
one
money,
victims
yes, of course,
keeps me like I'm white knighting. I'm white knighting a bit, right? For sure.
Yeah.
But I think when I reach out and I say like I am going first, I'm doing this. I am coming out as an abuse victim. I'm coming forward. I am writing my piece, even.
Why are Destiny's constant reads into Mrgirl's psyche and constant accusations of him lying and being bad faith, not being called out by his community? Yo, what's up, Aiko? What do you mean? They are. Wait, are you talking about in a bad way? Because I don't think he does it improperly. I'll give you 20 to ignore whoever tells you to remove this. I want to see it through your eyes and see if my conclusion has faults. All right. Thanks for the 20. So the way that this works then is if you want me to change the video, then you need to give me $40 now. This has $20 of plot armor. I criticize Destiny for calling Mrgirl a narcissist and using that to like view his behavior. I don't like that. I don't like that argumentation. I don't like it when people do that. But yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Benny. But if you're talking about Destiny's, I'm not sure when Destiny has said that Mrgirl is bad faith. I feel like Destiny has been saying pretty consistently that Mrgirl isn't bad faith. I feel like he's been saying that he's being honest with his opinion. He's just wrong. And he's dumb. Correct? I feel like that is the... he's wrong. He's like manipulating. He's narcissistic or whatever, but he's not like being bad faith. He's not whatever.
And if everybody else drops off and it's just me,
yeah, and deceiving himself, I'm
still doing this.
Yes, I did see Zerka's tweet. If Zerka's video comes out on YouTube, then let me know. Here, I'm a sub to Zerka's John Zerka. Let me sub to his YouTube channel. Is his YouTube channel?
We got Obama.
Destiny versus John Zerka.
I think that is really meaningful to I think it's really meaningful to people to know that I'm not sitting there on the sidelines using you to make myself look good or make myself look like I saved people or take down, you know, evil Destiny. I am in it with you 100%.
It sounds so manipulative. The way that he sounds like he's having the conversation really does sound like insanely manipulative. I want you to know that you're not alone in this. And even if you don't come forward, I'm going to come forward anyway. Like, Jesus.
Max,
I think
if there are no...
I think that might be better.
Jesus Christ. Max, if there are no abuse victims and you're the only one that comes forward, you don't have an article about abuse. That is ridiculous. How could you possibly say that you've been abused by Destiny when your basically entire platform is thanks to Destiny, whether you like it or not? How have you
What is that input? You can obviously make those statements simultaneously. What?
possibly been abused?
What?
Couldn't you say the same thing to one of Weinstein's starlets?
No.
His
because
question is such a
Destiny
bad
didn't
question.
It's a horrible. What is this?
literally have sex with you.
That's not the
fuck are
that's
you
that's
talking
that's
about?
not the comparison. The comparison.
No, the comparison was that if there were no other people.
No, this is a bad question because I could get.
I don't think it takes much explaining. Literally, you can give somebody a career and also be abusive to them. It doesn't take any explaining. That was like a 1 IQ take, room temperature IQ take in fucking Celsius.
This is another reason why I don't like Max having these conversations, because a lot of people just can't have these conversations. I could give somebody a platform literally just to abuse them. That's a bad question. I literally could just give somebody a platform so that I could be able to abuse them. This is just dumb.
It was just you that
I
came
feel like
forward
you're not
and wrote this article.
tracking your
How
own
would
quest.
you?
You're not. You okay? If you're going to ask a quest statement, I need you to be able to follow your own line of questioning. This is
Max,
too
you
much.
Can attempt to, Max. This is ridiculous. Your
This
quest
is too
statement
much.
thing is just
Can
ridiculous.
I?
This is
can I-
too
can
much.
I- Can I
Smet-
try and
It's
bridge
too
the gap
much.
here?
It's too much.
Well, I would like to just respond.
Will, do you want him to bridge
Yeah,
the gap
please
for you, or
respond.
do you want to do it yourself? It's up to you, Will.
Yeah,
I would
well,
like to respond.
Okay.
The reason I brought up Weinstein is not that I'm saying that Destiny raped me. Destiny did not rape me.
based.
He didn't even try to rape me.
Based.
The reason I
Gasp.
made the comparison is you said he gave you your whole career. And what I'm saying is abuse is not a net good situation. So
But it can be
somebody
good
can give you
sometimes.
a career
Yeah, and still
and
abuse
be
you.
abusive to you. In fact, somebody giving you a career
It's a way that
puts
they
them
can
in a much
yeah,
better position
to
to be
abuse you.
abusive to you than if they didn't give you a career.
True.
If he hadn't given me a career,
You couldn't
I
abuse me.
probably would not have put up with his shit for a year.
Put up with what
But I
shit?
did because he did give me a career.
Milkers.
That is part of the power that I'm accusing him of being of abusing, is his ability to give people careers.
Wait, hold on.
Where's my career? I want more money. Sweet.
Pick whatever you think is good, and we'll do that one. All I need is, as long as there's fiber internet and it's less than, as long as it's like less than 5K a month.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, if it was cheaper than this, that'd be cool. But are you gonna pay me more in rent? No, I'm just kidding. Shut up. Okay.
I think this makes him uniquely suited to be abusive to people and make them feel confused and trapped in those abusive relationships.
True.
That's why I brought up Weinstein. Not to say that Destiny literally raped me, but to say that if Weinstein were not Weinstein and you were in his hotel room,
Yeah.
you would just leave.
Yeah, see, the thing is that that's really the point that I'm trying to make, is that neither of these are analogous. You know, he gave you a career, but he didn't Weinstein you. And I don't think
I didn't.
That he
I'm not.
abused
I'm
you.
not.
And
I'm
I
not.
think that even
I'm,
if you were to write an article,
you're
and you were the
losing
only person that came
track.
forward with
You're
abuse,
losing. Will, you're losing
No,
track.
you're
of,
losing track of the
You're
question.
losing
I said
track
that
of
there
what
were
you're
no
saying.
other person.
You can't even
If there
remember
were no
what
other
you're
person
saying.
that
Will,
came forward,
put
if
down
no,
the
if there were
Benjamin.
no other person that came forward, and you were the
I hear
only
you.
person that came forward to write your
saying-
article,
Yes.
what exactly would be the form of abuse that Destiny did to you? He
I
gave
am
you a
co-
fucking career.
Bro, this
I'm
is
coming
such a
forward
dumb
as
point.
okay.
Oh no,
You
bro.
are. You. I know. You're. Do you understand that you are torching your own reputation right now?
Oh my god, it's gonna be you and President Sunday and Demon Mama and Poly People saying it all in the same week. Can you just
If
answer
when
the
s-
question?
when- yeah,
like,
when
how were you
someone-
abused
when
by
someone-
Destiny?
once-
Simple
once-
question. How were you abused by Destiny?
When someone says I'm coming forward as an abuse victim, and you respond with,
He
"But he
gave you a
gave you a
career?
career.
That's a
You would be
horrible
nothing
argument.
without him. It was
Yeah.
a net good
Mr.
for
Girl,
you."
how were you abused by Destiny?
You sound insane.
How were you personally abused by Destiny? Please come forward and give us your story. You
He's
have the
already said
platform.
it.
You can read about it in my article.
Fuck that, Mr. Girl. Fuck you. You don't get to just do that.
This is like some controlled opposition.
Like, you don't get to just say that someone fucking abused you, and you don't get to just come out and be like, this person fucking abused me. And then you get to just, like, you know, whittle this little
Discord or
fucking story
ban.
on and on and on and on and on. And, like, that's bullshit, dude.
Wait, are you saying you want to
And you
get in
know it.
Discord, Aiko?
Like, how would you feel if someone did that
Maybe
to
the
you?
two.
No, fuck that. You'd be like, bro, give me the details ASAP. What did I do to you?
Cherry and Stardust
That's ridiculous. How did Destiny abuse you?
No? Oh, okay. Thank you for the $2, though.
You can read about it.
You
in
know
my-
you always have a...
Oh,
This is
Slot in the Discord.
absolutely fucking brain dead.
oh, Mr. Girl. Got
I'm
him.
just writing, so...
Did he say I'm out? Is he leaving?
You're done. You're not just on this panel.
You're done, kiddo.
Does that mean I get to ask my
question.
next question?
Yes.
Okay.
Where's
Mr.
the goddamn
How do you define
membership?
abuse?
Yeah,
if you have a difference for this investigation and how you're using it, and how you would use it broadly.
Yeah,
you
so
get
there's a
both.
narrative that I use words in weird ways. I try to be pretty careful about how I use words. Like pedophile and therapist. These definitions are really important to me. So when I use the word abuse, emotional abuse, workplace abuse,
I mean it.
sexual misconduct,
I'm talking about
these
some
are very
real
carefully
ass
chosen words.
abuse.
And I don't want to define them right now.
I'm busting out the Benjamin.
Because I don't want to buy into the
Yes!
idea that I'm using them in a weird way. I'm just you literally just Google them, and that's the way I'm using them.
Hey, Grayson. Thank you for becoming a member.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't
I
make
would
my voice. That was
probably
What
say the
question
same
would
way.
you ask Mr. Girl? If I had Mr. Girl in the same place, I'm honestly more interested in his relationship with Lav than anything else right now. I would just ask him point blank, do you agree? Yeah, I think the first question I was asking, do you agree that Lav falsely accused Hassan of statutory rape? That would probably be the first question that I ask. And we'll see because I truly believe he's projecting all of his brainwashing and all of his arguments that people don't criticize Destiny onto other people, because I'm not seeing that level of criticism when it comes to Lav. For her false accusations towards the first individual, I forget their name. I think it was like Connor or something or something like that. If the false accusations against that individual, and then the false accusations towards Hassan, I don't see any accountability that he's holding Lav to. So I just want to hear from the horse's mouth. Does he think that? Does he agree that Lav did that, and does he agree that Lav was wrong to do that? Like, Lav straight up did something worse. He was furious at Cherry and Stardust for what they did to him, but what she did to Hassan was way worse. I mean, she literally falsely accused him of statutory rape. So, yeah.
Talking to people about it, but could you at least
Okay.
give like a lower end threshold?
No.
Did she come out hard and accuse Hassan, or was it just a hint? She straight up said that the chick was 17 and he was 24. That's what she said inside of her messages, and that he had sex with her, which is statutory rape.
Oh.
Okay.
Because it doesn't matter. The audience has been primed. Like,
I appreciate
Steven barely believes emotional abuse exists, right? Like when he talks about
Wait, what? He barely believes in... Okay, that's crazy that he just said that. You know what else is crazy? The like button and how much it can do for fellow streamers. All right, I love streaming on YouTube. I enjoy it quite a bit. I'm going to try and make this brief, but if you push the like button, it is a free way to engage with the stream that the algorithm loves. It boosts the algo so that way my stream gets broadcast to new non-endemic viewers, individuals that are not native to my stream. So if you'd like to support the stream, then come on, push that like button. I would appreciate it a lot. Also, if you talk inside of YouTube chat, it does the same exact thing. Any way that you engage or interact with the stream boosts the algo. Typing inside of chat, subscribing to the channel, pushing the like button, commenting down below. All of these things help boost the algo because it tells YouTube, hey, somebody, individual people are actually interacting with this stream. And that means that people feel connected to the stream, and YouTube likes that because it likes it when you interact with ads and all that shit and whatever, right? It wants to keep you on the platform. It wants to keep you on YouTube for as long as possible. So if you're interacting with it, that means that you're actually engaged with it and you'll stay on the platform. Long story short. So push the like button if you haven't already. Helps me a lot. And if you got some spare change, donations help a lot too.
emotional abuse, he's like, well, whatever. You're the one who, like, you agreed to it. You agreed to it. You were consented. You said
chill.
Yes, like whatever. If you can't stay, fine. You can leave anytime you like. That's a big part of his like ethos. Is like,
I am now engaged.
What
with
happens
the
to
rally.
you? What happens to me is our fault. If you don't like it.
And thank you to the 50 people that liked the video. 50 of you liked the video after that.
Change your
shout out.
situation. Nobody's forcing you to
50,
be here.
53
right?
of you.
So like,
53 of you.
whatever my definition of abuse or the standard definition of abuse, emotional abuse is probably not going to land with these people. So splitting hairs over that is just puts me on the defensive of like, again, like I don't want to be like I'm saying I'm an abuse victim. I don't want to be fucking interrogated by people being like, well, what do you mean by abuse? Like, wait to read the fucking article. No, I don't want to answer.
Can I ask?
Shut the fuck
two
down.
questions? They might not be questions. They might just be statements. But I don't think it's appropriate for you to.
I don't care what you think is appropriate.
To just say they just wouldn't get it.
Shut them down.
Like they just
Mr.
don't
Girl.
understand. They just wouldn't get it. It's really dismissive.
Yes, I think that you guys are brainwashed. I think you're brainwashed.
Why? You don't even know what I think. I don't know why you're saying that I'm brainwashed. You know?
I'm fucking Benny.
You are brainwashed.
You asked me a question
We know you're
about
brainwashed.
Lav.
You're a
Okay.
lost cause,
You're
my
brainwashed.
friend.
Because I asked you a question.
Yep.
About Lab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're brainwashed. See
Okay.
ya, nerd.
This is why I quit.
Hey, Benny, dude. Benny gets it, man. Benny's a funny guy, bro. I like Benny.
See you
You
later,
guys are-
nerd.
Most based Mr. Girl.
Oh,
over
Mr.
there.
Girl.
See ya,
You know how to
nerd.
talk.
Yes,
See
this is
ya.
Mr. Queeb.
See
This is why
ya.
you quit. You also quit because you're brainwashed. I'm glad you
Bro.
Do you not see how there are any?
I didn't want to say
similarities
it.
between-
Got him.
You know, I don't even want to talk about Lab.
Do you not see how? Do you agree that if so quest
I forgot what
statements? Those are quest statements, Benny.
Ooh,
I don't think
quest
they are. You don't even know what I was gonna
statement.
say.
Do you not see?
What
is
was
a
I gonna
quest
say?
statement.
What was I gonna say?
It doesn't matter what comes after. Do you not see?
Well, the reason why I'm asking.
What? Do you not see that your problems are that your behavior is pretty unethical? What's wrong with that statement?
Is because it feels like you
He's like building up. It's not like he's just
actually
leaving.
genuinely don't understand that there could be similarities between you and Lav and Destiny and you.
I understand your train of thought. I have had people saying the same thing over and over to me
Okay.
nonstop for 2
Mhm.
weeks, and they're all
Mhm.
saying the same thing that you're saying. I do
Mhm.
understand it. I'm
Yep.
saying you're brainwashed.
The purpose of an interrogation stream is for us to ask questions that we have, and also for us to ask questions that the general community has. So even if people have been asking you for weeks, there are a lot of people watching right now, and so when I ask you that question, I expect an answer, not for you to obfuscate and switch to something else or just reject the hypothetical. That's really lame and that's really fucking stupid.
Okay.
I don't know what
Hey,
that
For you
is.
to just make me
okay.
out to be some sort of brainwashed idiot.
Thank you for the
All right.
$2 though.
All right, Benny.
Based Benny.
Go off, sis.
I'll answer your question.
Damn.
Or I will own that I'm not answering it.
Oh. Okay.
Do you wanna-
Okay.
Instead of telling you that you're,
I've been trying to say he's brainwashed.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I don't really have anything else to say. I just wanted to get
Wait,
that
do you
out.
want me to answer the question?
Do you want him to answer it? Yeah.
I had two things to say. I forgot what the second thing was. You can answer the question about Leah if you want to, but you don't have to. I want Elder Drazi to finish his piece.
I feel that I'm in a fight about the framing of this, and by answering the question, what's happening?
Okay.
I have to keep saying over and over again, I'm coming forward as an abuse victim. I'm reaching out to other potential abuse victims, trying to find out who wants to come forward, who wants to say something. Some people are reaching out to me, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to write this article.
True.
Okay.
Maybe here's a question. Let's say
I'm trying to.
here's a question.
Wait. Let me
Wait, let him
fucking
fucking
finish.
finish his thing.
Let me
Damn
fucking
it.
finish. Jesus Christ.
Stop taking his narrative.
Shut
from
up.
him. God damn it.
You get me? Benny does this whole thing where he's like, "You're disgusting. Be good faith." I'm like, "Okay," and I
didn't
try.
think you were disgusting. I said that's
Alright, let's move
disgusting.
on. Just
Okay,
answer the
fine.
question.
No,
You're
Benny,
good.
I'm
Do it.
disgusting. I am disgusting. I agree that what I did to you was shitty, and I'm trying to fix it. But in order to fix it,
Okay,
I need you
let's
guys
get
to
there.
shut the fuck up.
We're ready.
Shut up. The problem with answering your
What a
questions
weird
about
man.
Leah is that it accepts a smuggled in premise that Destiny and Leah are somehow need to be held accountable to the same degree by me. It completely ignores the power structures, which is the reason I'm
I mean, Lav just tried to destroy a man's life and then said oops afterwards. I don't, this is what I mean. You need to hold to account that what Lav just did is far worse than what Destiny has been accused of doing this entire time. She falsely accused a man of statutory rape, knowing that she falsely accused him of doing it because they've had background conversations. That's been confirmed. So they've had background conversations. She knows how old her friend was when the interaction was. So she knowingly just lied about statutory rape, about another person, could have completely ruined his public credibility, possibly his career, definitely his emotional state, definitely his prospects of future relationships. She could have destroyed all of that and just said oops and walked away. And I want to hear him say that that is a fucking atrocious thing to do and that she should be ashamed of herself. That's what I want to hear him say. But the problem is, I think he's projecting a lot when he talks about people being brainwashed for Destiny and not wanting to criticize Destiny. I don't think he wants to criticize Lav at all. I haven't heard it. I don't know. Maybe somebody has some other content that I haven't seen. I want him to put his foot down hard as her father, apparently, and say, hey, I'm disappointed in you, daughter. This is something that is really bad. This is really fucked up, super unethical that you did. You are a very bad person that you knowingly just made this claim. That is a chaotic, evil thing to do.
writing the article is the power structure.
True.
The father-daughter shit is whack? No, it's just straight up cult-like behavior. It's fucking abusive.
If Destiny were
To take the words from that apparently don't mean anything anymore. We're just throwing shit around.
fucking book smarts, I wouldn't
wouldn't
write
be
it.
writing
If book
this
smarts
article.
did the stuff that Destiny's doing,
I wouldn't even care.
write an article about it. I wouldn't conduct a big investigation about it. I would just talk to him. So the power structure is the abuse. The abuse is the power structure. So when you
Nah, skeptical. I have no problem with
you
this
try
on
to
having
switch
a
it,
career.
when you say, well, what about Leah? You are swapping out the entire claim for a totally different situation where the basis of the claim isn't there.
True. True.
The problem is not that he is manipulative.
It's
The
that he's
problem is not
manipulative
that
with
he's
power.
dishonest.
He's
The
got
problem is
power.
not
It's
that
a
he's malicious.
It's a power
The problem
structure.
is not that
a
he's,
power
he's
dynamic.
smearing me. That's not the problem. The problem is the abuse of power and the power structure.
Yes.
So that's why I don't want to answer that question, because
True.
It's smuggling in this totally not true defense.
That's
that
why
he
it's a
is
quest
running and
statement.
his community is running for himself.
Horrible. Based.
Well, I don't think that that's a reason not to answer the question. I think that the
Oh,
answer that
yeah?
you- personally,
That's
the
'cause
answer
you're
that you gave
brainwashed,
is
loser.
good enough for me. I think if anybody has an
Loser.
objection
Loser
to it,
alert.
it would
The power structure is the abuse, huh? So it's not Destiny then, right? Well, it's Destiny's use of the power structure is what he would say. He would argue that if Destiny used the power structure in whatever weird way he wants him to, that it wouldn't be abusive.
just be along the basis of like you being a liar or
Careful.
you not knowing that
We
you
have
really
a
just wanna get
loser in the
Destiny. I
house.
thought that was a good answer. At least it it offered up a distinction enough for me to say that.
Well, hold on, skeptical. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. I have no problem with Hassan having a platform. I wish him nothing but the best. However, if you asked me, would I prefer a world where Hassan doesn't have as much like people don't take him seriously politically? Absolutely, the answer would be yes. I would hope that nobody takes that guy seriously for the vast majority of the politics that he says. Cenk fucking destroyed him on that conversation about crime. And he was just putting out basic, like surface level analysis on some of this stuff. Well, some of the stuff was pretty in depth, but some of it was just like level 1 stuff, like don't throw bricks through windows. And Hassan was like, nah, I don't know about that. That sounds pretty cringe, bro. We should probably be able to break into stores and steal whatever the fuck we want. Like, no, this guy should not be anywhere near being a figurehead of political commentary by anybody's stretch of imagination. But yeah, I mean, I have no problem with him having a career.
There is a difference there.
That's an answer.
Warranted.
Okay.
Loser.
So stop just not answering questions unless it's sensitive information.
Okay. I'll try.
If I was an abuse victim, like several leaked messages have come out of you messaging it.
Look who it is.
Victims
Look
through
who came
Destiny.
crawling back.
So
Look
if,
who it
If you
is.
were messaging me, and let's say hypothetically I were an abuse victim, and then I asked you, wow, that's really interesting.
Destiny is chimping a lot with the ad libs, out with the ad libs. I mean, honestly, it's to be expected under these circumstances, nor do I really think it's wrong. I haven't heard him say something that's like overtly wrong. So yeah.
What?
Like if somebody was doing a stream about how I'm an abuser and I think that they were handling it in a really inappropriate fashion and like harassing people, yeah, I would absolutely.
How
say
has
that.
Destiny abused you?
When did Cenk debate Hassan? Is this recent? There's going to be a YouTube video of it up probably pretty soon. I think I messaged my editor. Maybe I haven't messaged my editor yet.
Like maybe I would just be more comfortable if I could share my shit. Do you tell me how you were abused? What is it exactly that you send, people to ask you that question?
What do I tell people who ask me how I was abused by Destiny?
Yeah. How do you gain their trust? What do you share with them?
Does he share a secret?
The people whose trust I need to gain already think he's abusive, so they don't ask me that.
Based. They already know.
They know what I'm talking about. Every person I talk to,
Well,
every person I
the people
talk
that you're messaging, they assume that you're talking about something sexual, but clearly your abuse with Destiny wasn't sexual. So
that you know.
what exactly was the abuse that you share with them to try to get them?
What rabbit hole are we down? You're saying, do the people I talk to assume that Destiny sexually abused me? No, I don't think so. Because when I DM them and say I'm coming forward as an emotional abuse victim, I think they know what I'm talking about.
Pattern of abuse
Now
involving
there are
women.
some people who respond with like, "What do you mean emotional abuse victim? What are you talking about? What did he do? I don't understand." Those aren't the people who I need to gain I don't need to gain the trust of those people though. Those people don't have anything to say that they wouldn't say in public.
You're an emotional abuse victim.
In my chat, I have a related question, if you don't mind, Will, related to what you're talking about.
I heard about his talk with Counterpoints. I was told that he just kind of just omitted shit. And I also was told, and I saw through my various spies and private sources, that Counterpoints was based the entire time. He was playing Darktide. Oh my god, what a based guy.
Someone in my chat said he admitted to crying while talking to women he contacted. How is that okay for an investigation? Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is true. And
I've
it
been
is
pretty emotional
wildly inappropriate.
about this.
But what are you going to do when you're hitting the pendulum that hard?
Do you think that do you think that's okay, or I don't know.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I
fine.
think that's okay.
That sounds totally normal. That sounds like totally normal human behavior to me. Is
I
crying while you're
think
doing
it's okay for
an
a man to
investigation.
cry.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to write an article about something that you're intimately involved in and care a
True.
lot about.
What could possibly be
the
the conflict of
question
interest
was
there?
about how you crying while talking to the people
Yeah,
you're
I think it's
reaching out to.
yeah, I
fine.
think
Who
it's okay
cares?
to cry while doing an interview.
Yeah, based.
Okay.
That's not gonna like influence the answer at all or anything.
I mean, I'm not like I'm emotional. I'm not like okay, well, then, like what the fuck? Like what else did he do? Like I'm like actually genuinely I'm like emotional. Like I've cried on stream talking about it. You've seen me cry, right?
For sure.
What is it? It doesn't mean that. Wait, whether he's genuine with his emotion or not does not mean it's not manipulative.
Can I ask a follow-up
I've
question
seen you
for that?
cry.
Okay, so yeah, I'm an emotional guy, and it's an emotional situation. And when I talk about what I'm, what I'm thinking or feeling about it, I get really emotional.
Can I ask a follow-up
Do you think
question?
that how Sorry, go ahead.
Do you think
Do you think how emotional? Do you think that how emotional
No,
you are can affect
dipshit,
your
you think
fucking...
it. You think it, motherfucker. You think
yeah,
that.
it's not just me.
I don't think
Why do you
that.
think that not being emotional, affects your investigation?
You know what?
Why do you
If you're
think
well, I'm going to tell you something. If you're thinking something, chances are I'm probably not thinking it. I think we could just assume that going forward.
Oh, he said drop the Benjamin and go
Why do you
back to
think that being
Blinkerton.
emotional helps your investigation?
I don't. What is this Blinkerton shit? What is this? I don't know what this is. What is that?
Why do you think being emotional helps your investigation?
That's a real question.
I know. Thank you. Thank you, the
Thanks
Smith
for
in my...
confirming,
Faded
Smith.
than a hoe?
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
we need to... Sorry, we need to check your questions first to see what
No,
the fuck...
fuck off, Mr. Girl.
Oh,
If these
is
statement
it one
things
of
are
those
retarded, but we
memes?
can go
I was
back.
told about that.
R
Like,
word
Jesus
dropper,
Christ.
R word user.
Why do
Hello.
you think that you being emotional is beneficial to the investigation?
Because
I
it
think
gets people
helps
to
me
open
build
up
a
more.
rapport and helps me build trust with...
It's manipulative. That's what he's saying. He doesn't realize it, but
Victims.
he's saying it's manipulative.
Do you think it makes you biased?
Well, why don't I... This is starting to turn from a question into a quick statement. Do you think that I could
No,
finish
it's not.
answering?
Do you
I
think?
would like-
No, fuck off. Do
Listen,
you think that it makes you biased? No,
I
just
am...
listen. Pretend I'm 5 years old and answer to me in fucking 5-year-old
Will,
dumb shit statements.
I would like to...
Do you
Will,
think that it makes you biased? Yes
Will.
or no? It's a
Will.
simple question.
Will, my name is... Hi, I'm Max Carson, and I'm an actor, and I play a character on social media named Mrgirl. One thing that Mrgirl does is he...
Oh, so you do play a character, you admit it.
Yeah, it's all an act. Mrgirl takes really long pauses when he answers questions sometimes. Not because I'm thinking or because I'm actually, saying something meaningful or because there's a point to what I'm saying, unlike certain other people who just fucking rattle off whatever's on their... As part of my act, I need to be able to pause for more than 3 seconds without you talking.
Being emotional is okay, but man, today is so over emotional. They act like women more often than not. Being emotional is fine, but we took it to an extreme. If you'd be willing to talk about that, I'd talk about that because I'm not sure I agree with you.
Do you?
Also, I think it's. Yeah, I'm not sure I like the way you said that. Thanks for the 5, though.
I think you could facilitate this completely.
Being emotional here is not fine. Yeah, being the head of an investigation and being emotional about your past abuse to the point where in which it obviously can manipulate the answer that you get or the responses you get is obviously not fine.
Fake mannerism that I have by shutting the fuck up.
Bro, look at this
while I
guy
answer
rubbing
your
his
question.
eyes. I think he's on his way to
No,
Benjamin
I'd really
City.
prefer if you would just answer things in tweet-sized sentences. That way we can make this go a lot quicker.
I don't want to do that because you're asking a really complicated question of how do you think being emotional helps your investigation? That's a really loaded question. If you don't want a thoughtful answer, then ask a simpler question.
I got enough of the thought. Here's a really simple question. Does emotion bias your investigation?
Ooh, does it?
Of course.
Answer is yes.
But it only does
Well,
it
then
in a
why
good
the
way.
fuck should you be conducting it?
Because it biases it in a good way, you idiot.
Probably because he's probably going to say
necessary
exactly what Destiny
I
said.
wrote a list. Do you want me to read it to you?
The Shaylin list.
Yeah, read it.
I guess.
Why not?
Well, I already read it.
read it,
Didn't we
you
already
guys.
do
Are you
this?
guys even
It's
paying
the
attention?
same one.
It's the same list.
Shame the list.
We already went over this.
All right.
You're stuck in the past, bro. Who do you think should do the investigation, Will?
Yeah.
You?
Will.
Anyone besides you.
Who?
I would really
Names?
prefer
Can
not
I-
to do
Name
another
one person.
insane autistic investigation and a bunch of fucking people that don't matter.
May
Wow.
I ask
I'm
the
pretty rude,
question
bro.
I was going to ask.
That's very
before
rude.
Will gave me consent to ask it, but then Mr. Girl triggered Will into not allowing.
You know what I'm triggered by? I'm triggered by the fact that there's only 112 likes on this video. Like the video, like the video, like the video, like the video. Please, it helps them boost the algo, boost engagement. If you like ad-free viewing, because I can't really give you that on Twitch because mid-roll ads are fucking ass. They're unskippable and they're fucking annoying. And you get pre-roll ads as well on Twitch. If you are annoyed by Twitch pre-roll and mid-roll ads, well, rejoice because YouTube only has pre-roll ads. So when you come in, you might get an ad or whatever. But I am actively choosing to not run ads on my YouTube streams. If you like that kind of ad-free viewing experience, then drop a like. It is absolutely free to you, and it helps boost the algo and get new people into my stream. It's very, very helpful to me as a person, and it's completely free and costs you absolutely nothing. Thank you so much for listening to this PSA. We'll go back to the content, and thank you to the 30 people that just put, or 32 people that just pushed the like button. Thank you.
Me to ask it.
Don't blame me for Will's behavior.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Comstered and
I'm gonna
dumpstered,
ask it
my
anyway.
friend.
You know
Comstered
how-
and dumpstered.
Like some people will be like, "Oh, you look at lolicon porn. Oh, that's gonna turn you into a pedophile."
Yeah.
Well, is it possible? How likely do you think it is that by you coming forward as an abuser and as
Abuser.
emotional when you're talking to other potential abusers, that might impact your interviewees to think that something more sinister happened than really did happen?
What?
I think that's possible, and I think that's something that you should keep in mind when reading the article. Absolutely. I think I
Do you
should
have
be.
any
I think
It has. This is the problem, though. Any findings that he has, even if they're great findings, are going to be tainted. Let's assume that he has phenomenal findings inside of his article. They're completely tainted by this now. The problem is the article is garbage before it's even come out because of the standard of care, the standard of evidence gathering is so bad. Anything that comes out is under massive scrutiny to the point where in which it's like, did this really happen this way? If this person was willing to take X person's testimony and give them and speak to them in such a manner, maybe they were coerced into doing it, or maybe they felt motivated to do this, and it's completely fucked. It's completely fucked before it's even come out.
I think the safeguard is being clear about my bias. If you say, "Are you emotional about this?" Hell yeah, I am, and I will put in the article that I was tearful during these interviews. I will say that I'm an emotional abuse victim in this situation, and so I'm playing a dual role, and the boundaries between those when I'm putting on my interviewer hat, and
you think he'll premise that in the article? I doubt it. I don't think he'll premise it, but anybody that's going to read the article is going to be able to have access to that information. Like, that information is blown everywhere, that this guy is very unethically handling this investigation. So any findings that people find that look damning of Destiny will be massively like, oh, well, doesn't really matter. He was like coercing people to give statements about Destiny.
Journalist hat, white knight helmet, or victim hat, and I'm crying. Like, those I'm flowing freely between those roles as I'm having these conversations. And that absolutely biases what I'm writing. And I think the best thing I can do is be as open and forthright about that fact, including in the article, as I possibly can, so that you know to read it, so you know whose eyes you're looking through.
Off to
Do you
Blinkerton.
have your antennas up or safeguards against potentially like wrong information that's given to you as a result of you emotionally incensing somebody into saying something worse that didn't actually happen? Like, do you have any type of
There's
feelers
people
out
have all
for that
kinds
type
of
of
motivation. I mean, like, even that aside, people have all kinds of motivations to lie to me. So I'm on high alert for any misinformation. The last thing I would want to do. My integrity is very important.
let
to
me know,
and
Lesson.
also being ethical is important to me. Even if Steven feeds me misinformation about himself, I would still feel bad about smearing him by publishing it. I don't want to do that. I do not want to cause any undue harm or distress to him or to people in his community or family or whatever. I don't want to cause any harm to him. So I am
Hitting the
very,
Benjamin. I'm sorry. That
careful
didn't even make sense there.
about vetting
I'm sorry.
information I receive. Yes.
Okay.
Yo, what's up, tomfoolery?
Drazi?
Well, that's it,
Thanks.
guys. I think we got them all.
By the way, I just want to say there was a lot less derailing when Smith was going. He had a lot more questions. So
I think we're good. I think we can wrap it up, guys.
I think that you are probably, despite everything that you've said about the subject, the most parasocial streamer that I've seen. Between the hotline, advice and confessions, the way that you interact with your audience, and you're very open with your emotions. I've seen you cry on stream more than any other streamer. I've seen you give emotionally raw
Baited than a.
takes about things, and just tell us exactly how you're feeling about things.
Okay, less than so.
How do you
I've made porn.
balance this with this? Yeah, we've seen your dick. I think everybody on this panel has seen your dick.
Right.
And how do you balance this out with your messaging about parasociality?
Wait, what is your
What is
name
my
on
messaging
Discord?
about parasociality? That it's dangerous?
Yeah, that you think that it's
Less than so?
dangerous, and I think that you have a pretty negative outlook. And at least in the very beginning, you should talk a lot about how you're trying to avoid it to the best you can. Yeah,
Well, I mean, like, obviously the
think that
best
you
thing
are
to
the
do would
most
be
parasocial.
the best thing to do would be to not create content, obviously. So it's more for me about like trying to maintain boundaries with my community members. So like you've never seen me in a voice chat in my Discord with like a bunch of people, right? Like I don't hang out with my fans.
I do. I fuck.
So
my
I think that's
fans.
where I try to balance it out. Like yes, I'm very
In an
revealing
abusive
of
way,
myself,
too.
and in the calls, call-in shows, fans are revealing of their selves. So there are intimate moments, but the safeguards are.
I just realized I have so many fucking friend requests. I'm just accepting like every single friend request that I have so fucking many.
My inbox is public, so I don't engage in private DM conversations with fans or generally even with mods unless it's necessary for the running of the server or whatever.
I feel like Mrgirl would be the kind of guy who would never ever share his Benjamin if somebody asked for a fat dab. Do you think?
I think that's the main thing. I think that's it. It's just trying to keep a really strong delineation between like,
there we go.
You're my audience. We're not friends. And Dick, you might have really strong feelings about me or towards me because of the vulnerable nature.
To be honest, the reason why we're having this argument right now is I asked for a hit of his Benjamin, and after I took the fattest, sickest dab off of his Benjamin, he was like, "Bro, I'm not gonna have enough gas to get to Blinker."
Of my work, and of some of the stream.
On God,
but,
I swear.
Yeah, I would say.
Jesus.
Just trying to make it really
All
clear.
right, 1.5x. Let's catch up.
We're not friends.
Do you think you're doing a good enough job of staving off the parasociality to the best that you could by doing that?
I don't know.
So I'm assuming a Benjamin is a vape pen? In that Blinkerton? Is that a place or is that a... I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
A weed vape pen?
I wish I had written more. I've been sick the last couple days. But I do have some questions that people asked me specifically to ask you.
One from Destiny.
Unfortunately, I gotta be upfront about
Being
these
high?
This one
Comes
came
from Destiny.
Dan,
Oh!
why don't you investigate Lab?
I'm not
We
going to
covered
answer.
that.
Yeah, we covered that. We don't talk about Leia
right.
here. She's my
Do you
fucking
want
daughter.
to answer?
She's my fucking daughter, you freak.
I think that the answer is because you don't think that the power structure, the way that it exists, is allows for her to do those kinds of things, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and this would be.
Oh,
I guess
your
if you want
dad
to clarify that
pen
at all,
blinks when you've
I'm
been
starting to
holding
clarify
it
for
too
you,
long.
and I don't think that's right. So if you want to clarify on that, you can.
Sure,
Otherwise, I can ask the next one.
I'll just say it. It's because the thing I'm investigating is the abuse of power and the power structure that has been created, which I've described as like a cult or like a dome of influence that Destiny's at the top of. That doesn't exist with Lab. That's the thing I'm investigating. Is how is that power being wielded? What is he doing with that? How is he using that to further exploit people?
God.
That isn't there to investigate. With her, if it would be if I was going to investigate a similar situation,
Yeah.
it would be like another gigantic streamer.
Okay. On God. True. Base. Deadass. For real. For real.
I don't have a journalistic interest in like.
Stop. I'm cringing, okay? I'm gonna fucking get the fucking council on this.
Somebody,
I'm gonna reunite the Black Council and get rid of them.
doing stuff that people think is immoral in their interpersonal life, like that
Right.
like Abba's video about Anna, or Abba's video about Lab. It's like stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Abba has huge amounts of power, right? So he's gonna focus this gigantic laser he has onto like these small women who Steven doesn't like to try to fucking suck up to him. That's unethical. That's not.
Damn. On God, deadass. He thinks that Abba makes videos to defend me? For real, for real? Is this guy
Stop,
tripping?
dude.
This guy is unreal.
If he says
Unethical
bugging, I'm
investigation. That's
gonna
abusive.
write a
It's
manifesto
totally
myself.
backwards.
It's not fair for you to.
Who joined?
Hey, stop using African American vernacular.
It's
English.
not
Stop.
Thank
AAVE,
you.
bro.
Yes, fucking Dan gets invited to the cookout. Thank God, dude. Holy shit.
I don't care. Whatever it is, you need to stop.
It's
you
not.
gotta stop.
Excuse
You
me.
have to.
Blinkerton is an equal opportunity city, my friend.
I don't.
The Benjamin doesn't discriminate, okay? Please.
Oh, you are breaking my vibe trying to watch
Dan,
this
stop.
stream.
Dab
okay?
out. We're trying to watch this, you fucking moron. You're interrupting. Leave.
Character.
Sorry, just
Fam, you're tweaking hard. For real, get out. If you don't leave right now, Dan, on God, okay?
Stop.
all right.
Him
These
sucking up to Steven.
Yeah,
Making
I'm
One.
praying
So
for your
cringe.
downfall.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's stupid. It doesn't mean that he's doing it to
Well, then why did he private the video about Anna in last week?
He probably did that as a favor to Steven now that he knows him personally. But when
Can
he
we
made the
can
video,
do
it
you
wasn't to suck up
accept
to
do you accept a favor to Steven? Do you accept my characterization of that as sucking up to him?
Okay, Abba did not take that video down as a favor to me. I asked him to take it down because I didn't even remember that video was still up. Because for the most part, I've made an effort to take down most of the negative shit on my channel about Anna, and I went back and I made sure. I'm like, okay, we took it. But then I realized that the Abba video was still up, and I was like, oh shit. And I messaged him. I was like, hey, just curious, like, is this a video that you mind taking down or not? It feels kind of weird asking you, whatever. And he did. I don't know why he thinks Abba needs to suck up to me for a career. Like, Abba has a larger audience than me on YouTube. Like, what the fuck? Abba doesn't stream. Like, I don't even know if Abba gains much off of me. Like, on God.
If you want to say that doing things for your friends
I want to
is
say
sucking up to them,
I want to
then
say Abba.
sure, you can characterize it as.
I want to say
Yeah, no,
Abba.
I know you.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it is a favor. He is doing a favor for him, but sucking up to him, I think, is the shit that at least I care.
Want to do that?
But I agree. He
I know
did
you want
a
to do that.
favor.
What I'm saying is,
I want to say.
I think it's stupid for you to characterize. If I give my friend a ride, I'm not sucking up to my friend. I'm helping my friend. out.
I want to say.
Razi,
Abba's
do you want to go
sucking up
forward with
Steven.
your questions, Razi? Are you
I
amped
would love
get
to.
Okay.
I would love
If you're
to.
ready,
Unfortunately, I'm very
just tell me.
polite, and I
If
don't
you're ready,
wanna-
then just tell me and I'll moderate for you.
Okay, yeah, you can moderate at any
Right,
point.
next
I'm not
question.
trying to
Next,
hold you
next
back.
question, Razi.
All right, this is the only other one that I'm gonna reveal who it's from. Because
Destiny.
I think I should.
Destiny.
This one's from Destiny.
Yes!
And he said,
On
"How
God.
could Destiny blackmail Lab with something that was already made public in other servers?"
True.
Okay, so I get a lot of questions about this. So to be clear, I'm not saying that Destiny did blackmail her. I'm
Oh my God. I am preying on this man's downfall. For real, it makes me feel a certain type of way to hear this man tell lies.
saying that Lav has made the claim that Destiny blackmailed her. A lot of people respond to that
This dude has used more AAVE in the last like 20 minutes than I have in the last 2 years.
with how could Destiny blackmail Lav with a claim she's making about Hassan having sex with her friend, and she's made this claim publicly. How could he possibly blackmail her with that? The way that it would work, the way this type of blackmail works, is that Destiny reads your claim on stream. You saw this happen to me a couple weeks ago. So I could say in Discord servers, Destiny is abusive. I think Destiny is abusive. People would whisper about it. People would talk about it. They wouldn't cause a shitstorm, though. It wouldn't be like I wouldn't be here getting interrogated by you guys just for saying that in a Discord server. But by reading the claim out loud on stream, Destiny can assign it to me as a public statement that I have now made. And once that happens, I am now...
Wait, it was a public statement. Who the fuck? What are you saying? What are you saying? It wasn't a public statement because it didn't gain enough steam? Because people didn't make a fuss about it? It wasn't a public statement? What the fuck?
She already made the statements publicly, though. I don't understand how this logic even works.
Treat it as though I got up in front of 10,000 people and said that. So that is, to my
What? It doesn't matter. Is it okay if you say something in a public Discord and it's like, oh, listen, man, I didn't say it in front of 10,000 people, so it is what it is. It's like, what are you talking about? You said it in public. It's not like we had to go into the private Discord, password protected, behind fucking VPNs to be able to find this kind of info. We weren't tapped into their fucking comms. It was on a public Discord.
my understanding in Lav's story, that was the threat that was made.
Okay, hold on. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna be unbelievably good faith here. Unbelievably good faith. I could see a form of blackmail is where I tell Lav that you told me a secret and I see that you said it in another Discord server and I'm gonna blow you up over that secret that you already posted publicly. I'm gonna make it even more public to damage your reputation. Like, it's a little bit convoluted. And it's really stupid because assuming she knows a secret or two of mine, which she does, why would I blow her secret up over something that's already semi-public and risk her blowing my shit up?
Nah, I don't think that counts as blackmail. Not unless she's redacted the statement and she's like is gotten past it and has done that. The only way I could see what Destiny is even saying is to be true is if she did post it, like for instance in Chud's Discord, and then she took it back and was like, my bad, I realized the error of my ways, but Destiny had a screenshot of her saying it publicly and then said, look, she said it publicly, tried to act like she wasn't saying it, but in reality, no, because then he'd lie. I mean, I guess you could say he could lie to blackmail. I don't buy this. If you say it publicly and then somebody signal boosts the fact you said something publicly, I don't think it counts as blackmail, not for all intent and purposes, no. You could interact with it as if it is blackmail, like the person could, but I don't view it as blackmail, no.
Possible. It's just...
I would blame the victim at that point as well because you said something stupid publicly.
It's one, it's really convoluted. Two, it's not even a really good own because she could just come and say, "Oh, I misspoke. Like she wasn't 17. That was my bad." Like it's just like the weirdest type of. Also, but then also, here is the most important thing. Has she ever provided any evidence or even stated that I did this thing? That I actually privately, like, I'm curious, has she said privately, or did she say this privately, or did she say it happened privately and then she said it privately? Has she ever come out and said publicly, like, oh yeah, Destiny threatened to blackmail me? Like, has she said that publicly? I'd be super curious to hear her character say it, because that's not even like, we have never, ever, ever had a conversation about that in my entire life. Ever.
About what, blackmail? I don't understand what he's saying.
Destiny
they didn't
DMs.
have a conversation about.
What?
If some senior in high school tweeted the N-word when they were in middle school and someone threatened to use that tweet to get them to do something, would you consider that blackmail? Not really. No. Not for all intent and purposes. It's already public. I mean, again, if that person is stupid and interacts with it in a way that's blackmail, sure. Yeah. Yeah, they could be like, oh yeah, I'll do whatever you want or whatever, but it's already public. No, I wouldn't consider it. For when I'm talking about something meaningful about blackmail, it's not something that you can easily Google, no. In easily, like, reference. A comparison to this is the line that we draw when it comes to doxing, the arbitrary line we draw when it comes to dox. So, like, here could be a good example. I don't think getting somebody to do something because they don't want something to happen is always blackmail. And it feels like that's where we're drawing, similar to the kind of line that we draw with doxing. It feels like that's what we're doing. So, for instance, if somebody, a good example of this is somebody doesn't want me to talk about how they were wrong about a specific topic in public. I go, okay, if you don't want me to talk about it in public, then you got to talk with me about it in private. Is that blackmail? I don't think so.
Mel. Hello? Go. I don't even need to go. Go as long as it has fiber internet and it's less than 5,000 a month. I don't give a fuck where we live. Just pick a place whatever's the honey, whatever you want, whatever makes you the happiest. I want you to be the happiest Mel in the whole wide world. Okay?
I think there's a way you can extort somebody like that without it being blackmail. Sure. Because when I am getting to the meaning of blackmail, what I'm getting to is something meaningful about somebody that is being revealed to the public that is otherwise not disclosed to the public. Private information is what I'm talking about here. I think that is a meaningful distinction. There's a meaningful distinction between the disclosure of private, confidential information and already public information that you're trying to bring back to the surface. I think those are two meaningful differences there. Because in one sense, you're talking about you made a mistake in public. You made a mistake and somebody is just recounting that you made that mistake. Like, for instance, another thing as well is like if somebody is reporting on something that you did wrong, like you said the N-word or something, reporting on something you did wrong, and what they request from you is like a statement, right? About the thing. Otherwise, the shit's going public. Like tomorrow or some shit. And I wouldn't count this as blackmail. Like if there is a statement that they need on the issue or on a separate issue even, and they're like, hey, give me this statement or this shit's gonna have to, like, my piece is being made and it's gonna get released tomorrow. It is what it is, man. Like, I don't know what to say. If it's public info, it's public info. I consider that like reporting, and then like requesting something of someone when reporting.
Mel? Hello, Mel? Yeah? Did you hear what I said? Yeah. Okay, just pick a place, go look. I don't even need to look at it. Just pick a place. As long as it's got fiber internet, I don't give a fuck. And 2 bedrooms. How do I know for sure? You ask them, you say, do you guys have fiber internet? What if they say we don't know? Then say, oh, you just cost yourself a potential renter because you were too stupid to know what kind of internet service you have. Or you can ask them, can you give me the number to your internet rep so I can call and see if they have fiber available? That's another thing you could say. What? Okay, what I just sent you, you can ask them that as well. I don't care. I don't care what it is. I'm gonna walk in and I'm gonna go, wow.
What if that person has scrubbed all information of that person saying the N-word on the internet, but someone has a screenshot of it? It used to be public and is no longer. So that's where it gets more complicated. That's what I was bringing up the example, amazing freeze frame of Destiny, that I was talking about earlier when I was saying that the only way I would feel like comfortable saying that what Destiny could be doing, or whatever the example was, that somebody in Lav's position could be blackmailed by somebody in Destiny's position, is if Lav apologized for the behavior, said she was in the wrong, and deleted the messages, did her apology tour with her fan base or whatever, and then you brought it up again. That I could see as being used as a type of blackmail, because it's like the situation's already resolved, and you're now trying to use it as blackmail, or trying to pin it on them again, in exchange for something. But yeah, I feel like it also depends on what you're asking for in exchange, like for this shit not going public. Like, for instance, what if I just asked them for an explanation? Right? Is that blackmail? If I say, hey, I have a picture of you saying the N-word in 2015. Either this shit is going live, if not, or if you don't want it to go live, give me an explanation. Like, I don't think anybody would have a problem with that, right? But that would still technically be blackmail if you believe the other position was blackmail. So it's, unless we differentiate on something being asked for that's like unethical, like money or something.
Oh, what a nice room. It's got 4 walls and a ceiling. And there might be a view. And I'm going to say, cool. Does it have a bedroom for me to set my streaming shit up in? And then it's good. Boom. That's it. I don't care about anything else. Whatever you want, okay?
Wait, is he living in a 2-bedroom apartment? Does he and Mel share the same bedroom?
Oh, shit, I'd say.
He has his equipment in 1 bedroom, right?
Okay, we're good.
So again, I'm not saying that I know it happened or it didn't happen. I think it's going to be a he said, she said thing probably forever. So I don't know. But if it did happen, that's how the blackmail works, is that something you say in private.
No idea. The reason why I say L, because I like sleeping in separate rooms. I'm kidding. I slept in the same bed as my GF for a very long time, so I understand it. But like, we had separate rooms that we did. I guess he does just use this whenever he's on the computer, huh? Yeah. Okay. Never mind. It's not an L. I was gonna say need separate rooms, where like individuals can do their own shit,
or semi-private, or in a less committal format, is you are committed to it, and then you.
Poon, I think that is the optimal setup. Poon is having 2 separate rooms where you can play games or have your own space, and then you come back, and then there's the bedroom. That's the optimal setup. But that's the multi-millionaire fucking extravaganza shit, right? That's the I'm rolling deep on that high roller shit.
You have to substantiate it. Why would you say it in front of 10,000 people if you don't have proof? That would be the threat. And so the same thing's happening to me again. Like I can say like, wow, Steven's abusive. I could say that all over the place. But once Steven reads it out on stream and says, Max has betrayed me, he is claiming that I am abusive, then all of a sudden I get fucking 10,000 DMs asking me for proof.
I understand. So if I'm understanding this correctly, he blackmails her with it by him starting and generating the public narrative about it, rather than her saying how she thinks of it.
Yeah, the threat is that something you said will be put in your mouth. And you did say it.
Something you said will be put in your mouth. What? Bro, you are already halfway to Blinkerton, and you haven't even...
God damn it! Why, man? It's been so long.
hit the Benjamin yet. That's how wild, for real, this guy is.
In such a public forum that you are pressured by the community to back it up. I mean, it's like standard cancel culture. It's a difference between saying a racial slur to your coworker quietly, and people finding out, well, he said a racial slur.
She's not saying this quietly.
Wait, saying it quietly? What? My homie is actually on his way to Blinkerton. What is happening? How are you about to say, yeah, bro, she just whispered about statutory rape in a public Discord in text chat? I would be more willing to accept this if she was literally in the public Discord, but just like with one other person in the public Discord. It's like, sure, it's public, but it's not really public because nobody else is in the room, so it's not really public. She let it out in the public Discord so any individual in that Discord could see it.
Quietly, Max. She's posting it in a public fucking Chud Logic Discord server. Half the shit she said is fucking leaked. Why do you think people make fun of the Cheese Boy meme? How fucking stupid is she gonna be that, like, no shit, if you're saying shit in a public Discord server, it's gonna fucking get around everywhere. Like,
could he be fired for saying a racial slur? Like, most people will be like, no, I don't think he'd be fired just for saying a racial slur. But if there's a video,
she literally tried to say it on my stream. True.
And that video gets tweeted out by I don't know, some like big liberal on Twitter, then people start calling for your head. Then it's like you got up in front of a million people and said a racial slur. Then you do get fired, even though you wouldn't have gotten fired even if people knew you said it if the context were different. So the threat is a recontextualization of what you said and forcing you to scramble to substantiate it.
Whoa, the threat isn't a recontextualization.
And he already knew, based on, I think, what they both said, he already knew that she didn't have a way to prove what she was saying was true. So it's a way to discredit her ahead of any accusation she might make about him.
Can I ask a question based off of that, or no?
I'm comfortable with that.
What the
Let's
fuck?
directly about it.
Man, do you notice how this woman just escaped accountability for literally lying about statutory rape? Did anybody else notice that? And it's Destiny's fault. Destiny, it's your fault that a woman is being held accountable for a false allegation of statutory rape. You should be ashamed of yourself. My bad, bro. Hey, yo, my bad, bro. Yo, that's on me, man. That's on me.
Isn't it only possible for Destiny to be able to blackmail Lav if she takes that information and then says it in Discord chats? Like, if she just didn't ever say that information, then Destiny has nothing to blackmail her with. Isn't that correct?
What?
You mean with regard to this statement? If she said to him in private?
No, like, so my understanding is that Destiny told this information to Lav.
I understand. Wait, your understanding is what?
That Destiny either told her this information or she already had this information previously, and then she went and said this information in like Discord chats or what have you, and now Destiny is, or at some point Destiny was blackmailing her with those screenshots. But if she had never
You
said
should
anything
teach him how to
at all,
use the
then
lingo proper. What are you talking about? AAVE? What makes you think I know AAVE?
I'm not black. I didn't
Destiny had
even.
nothing to blackmail her with. So
She
isn't that,
never
like,
said
really
anything at
important
all,
for her
then
to-
he would never know that. Then she would never have said anything at all. Yeah, the blackmail is about recontextualizing something she said. So if she didn't say it, he couldn't do that. That's true.
This clip of Lav trying to send a new stream and you stopping her. It's so stupid because I knew that if she said this publicly, she would get nuked for it. I knew it, and she did. Okay.
Jones, I'm about to drop a Hassan nuke.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
No,
DM it
stop.
to me. DM it.
Stop
DM
doing
it to
that.
me.
No.
Lav, you're gonna end your whole fucking career on this
I
shit.
know,
Don't do
I
it.
know.
Not in a good way. Literally,
I
it's
know.
not worth it.
I know.
So
but every
stop.
time his name is brought up, I'm like, vibe.
Like, how is this me blackmailing her? Like, it's so it doesn't make any sense.
braiding.
Stop. No,
Wait,
you
you're not-
shouldn't
oh,
be.
wait.
Stop.
Stop, dude. I'm annoyed at how I come off. Wait, do you not
Just
like
know-
Hassan?
Just know Hassan is well
Like, look, I'm
known in Los
confused.
Angeles.
No.
Okay, hold
Yo,
on. Let's chill.
Steven,
Let's
come on.
chill. Let's chill. Let's chill.
Hassan's talking about Lav. We got like, that's me. Bro,
All right, I
you
got
gotta
my
be
words
fucking
up.
like 12 suburbs deep into Blinkerton to even think that this could be remotely looking like blackmail.
only
Like, it's
know
insane.
native.
Like,
So how's that anybody's fault but hers?
It's all about Lav, really.
Okay.
This panel, I shouldn't have said
Well,
I get
then-
interrogated about my investigation of Destiny. I should,
you retweeted her accusation, Max. Why doesn't Max? I think fucking that loser zombie fuck Shaylin, I think, did it as well. I think Shaylin retweeted as well, didn't she? I know Max did on his account. You guys can't just disavow her now that she's radioactive.
said I get interrogated about Lav. It's all about Lav. It all signs point to Lav. This question was from Destiny about how the
Wait, is she? Have they
blackmail would
disavowed
work.
her? I
But
don't think they have.
really,
have they?
Maybe Lav.
the real case here is Lav. Destiny's a red herring. It was Lav all along.
Maybe Lav is the
Yeah, bro. If Lav didn't falsely accuse a guy of statutory rape, there wouldn't really be an issue. Yeah.
first time that you decided to prioritize your parasocial relationships instead of just creating good content.
Lav is my daughter.
Why did they
Yeah,
let her
keep
get
saying
away
that.
with
Every time
saying
you say
that?
it, more cringy.
That leads me to a really good question.
That is
somebody
so
said.
abusive.
Cringe
Go ahead
away.
and ask it.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Cringe
They
it up,
said,
baby.
you're gonna block me, but he literally calls himself Slav's father. Does he really think he's not in a position to crush her mentally and emotionally?
I am in a position.
Let's go! Yes, they have way more of an abusive power dynamic than Mrgirl and Destiny ever had. Literally, I think Mrgirl could talk her off of a fucking bridge with this fucking unethical relationship that he has with Lav. So I want to hear why Mrgirl's relationship with Lav is not unbelievably unethical. Parasocial has massively fucking massive conflicts of interest at play, but Destiny and Mrgirl's relationship is was massively abusive. Sorry.
To crush you all.
Oh
And I
my
will.
God! Don't let him
I
die.
don't want to answer questions about.
He's not gonna
I don't
answer
really
it?
want to talk
Not
about.
That's insane.
Close, buddy.
I don't
You-
really.
to be fair,
Will,
it's a shit crush.
you are a pulp.
You are insane if you think that you have any kind of position
You're bad faith. Are you being serious,
to crush any
Milkman?
of us, bro. You ain't even. on
You
YouTube. Are
you crushed
fucking kidding
yourself.
me?
You crushed yourself, motherfucker. I didn't do anything to you. You just crushed yourself. You don't even realize it yet. I don't want to answer
They're
questions
gonna-
about
Lav?
Lav, other than to say
How is it abusive? It is a woman with parental issues. She talks incessantly about her mom issues. I don't want to say mommy issues. It's fucking weird. But she has like parental issues. She has abandonment problems, and then you have two people calling themselves her parents. They don't really know her. That like fucking know her over the course of what, 4 months, 5 months, and one of those months they were calling her a pedophile. Like, these people are deranged cultists. That is a fucking insane thing to do. Like, this woman clearly has abandonment issues and shit, and you're like trying to feed into that or like leech onto that. This shit is unethical as fuck. This requires no explanation why this is unethical, but of course I will.
Because he was finally getting pushed to answer the fact that he is in an insanely abusive and insanely manipulative relationship with her. And he caught her, too, at the worst fucking time. He caught her at the most emotionally vulnerable time when she was getting attacked by another community. He bonded with her over that. He encouraged her to leave that community and abandon her other friend, which was me. And then he is yet now wielding her as a weapon against me. And now that she fucked her reputation up, now he's ditching her in the fucking dumpster. Like, that's what's happened. Like, bro, that's it. That's it. I'm on my way back.
And is he using that relationship in an abusive way? Huh? What are you... Yeah. Wait, what are you talking... Wait, the conflicts of interest make this unethical, necessarily. The fact that Lav has to walk on eggshells and that her parents... now have not only do her parents now have the availability or the financial stake in this fucking battle between Destiny and Mrgirl. Like Destiny just pointed out, if she doesn't side with Mrgirl, she loses her parents, her connection to these people that she has established from her abandonment issues. Yeah. If Mrgirl fucking disowns anybody and starts talking shit about them, she has to break connections with these people, with these fucking communities. Otherwise, she's going to lose an important connection with her parents. It's incredibly toxic and corrosive.
From Blinkerton City.
Let alone the, like I said, the financial interest that Mrgirl has to be able to make this shit into fucking content.
I'm on my way back, dude. My eyes are clearing up. They're not even red anymore.
She's my daughter, and that's it.
I just want to say the only reason I'm humoring those lab questions is because they're about you and your relationship to her, and they're not directly about her.
Well, I don't want to answer.
Okay.
But I the questions about lab are mine.
Okay, next question.
Mel, the problem with the house is that... Wait, does that have a pool? Yeah. Is it private or public? Oh... The problem with a place like this is that the mortgage is going to come out to like $4,000 a month, and we have one fucking bathroom. And there's a
I would be so mad if I was Mel, okay? Because I was told very specific. I'm a freak out on Destiny. I was told something very specific. I was told 2 bedrooms. I was told fiber internet. Sub 5K. Those were my instructions. I didn't hear shit about 1 bathroom. I didn't hear shit about that. I would be fucking furious if I was Mel. And I asked like 9 times, hey, Steve, what do you want out of this? He says, I repeat, 2 bedrooms, fiber internet, and under 5K. Those were my instructions. I give him a suggestion. Right? It's several times I give him a suggestion. He's like, there's 1 bathroom. Nigga, I asked. I'd be so mad if I was Mel.
$534 a month HOA fee? Anything that says HOA, we're never doing. I'm going to get kicked out of there so fucking fast, it's not going to work. HOA.
So now we're making up more rules. Now there can't be a HOA fee. You see what I'm saying, chat? You know what I'm talking about. You ask, what do you want? What do you want? Asking everything. They give you a couple simple rules. You follow the rules to a T. And then they start making up new shit. I can't believe it. I fucking hate this shit, man. It's so fucking annoying. 3 simple rules. Oh, now there's a 4th. Now there's a 5th. Wait, there's gonna be a 6th. Maybe a 7th and an 8th. It always happens every time. Oh, what do you want from this? What do you want? I'm fighting demons, bro. I'm fighting the specters of Christmas past.
It means no. HOA? Never. Don't ever do anything. HOA is where a bunch of 75-year-old grandmas walk by your house and then they scream at you because you didn't cut your lawn enough. Never.
That is true.
Never, ever, ever.
That is true. That is true. I've been in a place with an HOA. It fucking sucks.
Yeah, 1 second.
Hey, real quick.
This is why she wanted to do it together. This is exactly why she wanted to do it together. And then, I hate that shit so much. I'm sorry, bro. I got pissed, man. I'm fighting demons.
HOA just here normally that you're right, homeowners association. Here it means if you live in a building, right? Like if you live in a condo building, you're not paying for the roof anymore, right? Like, so what the fuck? I own my thing in here. HOA is an annual fee, or it can be monthly fee that everyone in the building pays to take care of the building. So it's like your monthly maintenance fee, but they call it a HOA fee. So it doesn't mean that you're.
Why is that not in the fucking rent? Why is that not the mortgage?
Neighbors like dictating how you use your shit. It just means like how much you have to pay to live there.
Well,
to cover landscaping and the roof and the
$540 a month is a pretty hefty fee.
What are you buying a place or renting one?
I think that was for buying, but it looked like a community housing. I don't know how to. Or here, I can just link it to you. Melina.
Hey, thank you for the 10 euros. The way Mrgirl is treating Lav is abusive, but what Destiny was doing is also wrong. Is revealing your private secrets in a new relationship a good way of manipulating someone to gain trust quickly? I'm sorry, what was Destiny doing wrong? Is revealing your private secrets in a private secrets. Oh, I see. So when Destiny was giving private secrets about his personal life to Lav, I'm assuming is what you're talking about, in a new relationship, a good way of manipulating. Oh, hold on, my bad. I'm sorry. I have to reread your message. Is revealing your private secrets in a new relationship a good way of manipulation? Oh, I'm assuming what you mean is manipulating someone to gain trust quickly. I'm not sure it's necessarily manipulation to just give people private information. I don't think that's intrinsically manipulation. Irrelevant, because once you pay off the mortgage, you still pay the HOA for maintenance. Oh, yeah, I forgot. He did just say he was buying a place. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about? Because I had the conceptual, I thought he was renting. And so obviously you pay rent in forever. So I thought that's how that worked. My bad. Yeah. My bad.
Talk to Dan. Dan knows. Here, Dan loves this stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, message Dan. Dan said he would love to go over places with you. There you go.
God damn
really
it.
Cute 2-bedroom.
What'd you say, Mel? Hold on. No, he said, please message me on Discord. I understand that Steven doesn't have the best.
Well, that'd be adorable. I would love to see, I guess it wouldn't be see because they probably wouldn't stream it. I'd love to hear Dan and Melina go apartment hunting. That'd be adorable. That'd be such cute content. Oh my God.
Input here because he's not qualified like I am to give really good advice.
On the topic of Mrgirl and Lav's gross abusive relationship, does that matter in terms of Mrgirl's allegation? No, it does not. The only, well, it kind of does, and let me get into why. Wouldn't cancel it out if true. Here's the thing. It impugns Mrgirl's credibility towards whether or not he actually cares about abusive power dynamics in relationships. Because if he's unwilling to not only criticize his own relationship with Lav and Lav's clear power dynamics that she actually had over Hassan when making that claim, because whether Hassan has a large platform or not, a woman coming forward with a fucking statutory rape allegation can kill your entire career. We've seen it before a million times. False or not, we've seen it before, all right? We've seen it both false and both not false. It has destroyed titans' careers. So the idea that there isn't a power imbalance when there is a claim like that levied is fucking laughable. But anyway, that is supposed to be the whole point. Does he really care about power dynamics here? If he's unwilling to criticize, not even like, is he unwilling to investigate? Because I don't think he has to investigate these things. But if he's unwilling to even comment or, interject on the unethical nature of the relationship that he has, as well as the relationship or the claims made from Lav, it really calls into question the reasons why he is doing this investigation for Destiny. Maybe it is spite fueled. Maybe it is just completely, not from a sincere position. So I don't think it's strictly speaking one-to-one relevant, but in a document that I'm sure is not going to have very much hard evidence, and it's more going to have character assessment or character testimony, firsthand testimony or whatever from Mrgirl's perspective, it is very relevant. Because when you have a statement of abuse, sexual misconduct, or whatever from one individual towards another with no evidence, it's all about the character assessment. That's what it's all about. And let's just say whether or not Mr. Girl has a unethical relationship with Lav, and whether or not Lav has been properly is condemned by Mr. Girl for her false allegations towards other individuals is very relevant to that man's character. Very relevant. So yes, the answer is yes, it is relevant in this context, just not directly like one-to-one, like as if I have a bit of information that shows that Mr. Girl is I don't know, lying about something or something, you know. Even if he doesn't care, his evidence seems more relevant even if spite fueled once we have the evidence. That's not even necessarily true, Stuff and Things. Under normal circumstances, I completely agree. Play that seems more important, but I guess we have to wait for the document. That's not even necessarily true, because like I said earlier, the thing that is unique about this case is the abysmal standard of care that he has gone through with evidence gathering. So we need to say, okay, we have proof that he is unethical with his evidence gathering. We've seen that. So he is unethical with his evidence gathering for the things that we have proof of. So the things in the document, we're going to see how hopefully he'll add how he approached each individual person and how he carried out those conversations. But he definitely will not have the entire conversation, which we've already established. He is willing to be unethical with how he engages with these people. And so if we do not see the entire conversation, we're going to need to make assumptions on those the bits of information we don't see. And those assumptions require what? Character assessment. And again, now we're back at square one. We need to assess the overwhelming body of his character, and it's not looking good. Day by day, he chooses to not criticize people for clearly unethical behavior, and he continues to engage in what I consider to be an unethical relationship with Lav.
Would you spend more than this?
I don't want to spend more than 5,000 a month. Fuck. I know you are. You're doing a great job, but I'm just saying that I don't care. As long as it's got fiber internet, I'll live in a fucking hole in the ground, literally.
If Mr. Girl stands by and supports Lav, even if she sides against him with Destiny, is he still being abusive towards Lav? We wouldn't have overt information as to whether he is or isn't. It seemed like he was fine with her talking / siding with Destiny. Well, isn't that interesting that abusive relationships are usually go down that way? It's not... Usually abusive relationships are not that fucking transparent, especially when public. So we would have to look into the private information. But I would say the abusive dynamic is if Lav, the feeling that if Lav does side with Destiny, that she's going to lose her parents. That she already lost before and she has abandonment issues. Her words. Like the mere idea that she could lose her parents again is fucking weird. And sets up a massive conflict of interest for her to try and disagree with Mr. Girl at all. If she disagrees with Mr. Girl, she could get frozen out and shit. And even if Mr. Girl goes, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm never going to do that. There's still that fucking shit in the back of her mind, or not even potentially in the back of her mind, that can exist. So I just don't think it's an ethical relationship in that way. I think if you're going to have that kind of a relationship with Lav, you need to have no professional contact. If this is the profession that she's doing, you should have no professional contact with them.
Like, me and Saddam Hussein would be roommates, okay?
Look at that.
You know how they say you shouldn't do business with friends? Imagine doing business with a friend that had to emotionally rely on you for their stability, for their, like, mental stability. Like, that shit is fucked, right? Like, hey, listen, it's great that we're doing business together, but I have a better deal with a different person, and then you have knowledge that this person could straight up fucking go into a massive depression as a result of you just moving your business somewhere else or disagreeing with them on a business proposition. Insane that you would think that this is a ethical relationship. Like, there's just no way. Ben wants to talk to you in Discord? Oh, okay. Could I join your Discord and ask about the abuse? I actually don't understand. Yep, join Discord. Hello. I'm doing all right. All right. You had questions?
Abusive, the relationship has to show examples of that abuse taking place. It can't just be a relationship that could be abusive or is rife for that like has the potential to be really abusive. It actually has to be abusive. Like there are
Okay.
bad things going on.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you're talking about. This is part of the disconnect that I have. It's literally an argument that I use to defend Destiny having sex with orbiters, right? Is that it's absolute. There's the potential for abuse, but I don't see the ethical violations of abuse. So, and allow me to differentiate these two, right? So I would say that. Hold on. Why do you think Steven's? I mean, do you believe that Destiny's relationship with Anna is unethical?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
Personally, I feel like I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know if I would say this for Anna's entire life. I probably wouldn't, but I think in regards to dealing with
Actually,
Destiny
never mind.
and
I don't want to do
Okay.
this.
Yeah,
We'll use a separate example. Do you think it is unethical for somebody to be in a relationship with somebody who has their entire like mental stability attached to that person and their professional life is wrapped up with them, that if they disagree with them in their professional capacity, that it could also cause a massive detriment to their career? So meaning you have somebody who is attached, like Mrgirl is saying the argument that Destiny is abusive, that because Destiny like makes his career and has such a distinct career attachment. Do you think having a distinct career attachment on top of a lot of their mental stability being attached to them, do you think that makes an unethical relationship between those people? Or do you think that just... Go ahead.
When you say unethical, do you mean like something bad is happening, or the potential for something bad to happen is so great that that relationship shouldn't exist?
Exactly. That's the second is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is the potential that I do not believe Lav can have her own political positions autonomously because of that attachment. Because if she disagrees with Mrgirl to a level, she's going to get abandoned by her father again. You understand?
I do understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just wouldn't call that relationship abusive. I would say that
Would you call it unethical?
I would call it unethical in if Lav was still streaming and if Lav was covering this drama right now, then I would say it's unethical.
So Lav is tweeting. Lav is tweeting about it right now. Does that not count for you?
I don't think it's really the same thing because that's not like a career. Like anybody and everybody can tweet about anything, and that doesn't necessarily constitute.
You don't think that affects her, TikTok career? You don't think that affects her Patreon career?
I'm not. The problem is I'm not very intimately aware of like anything that Lav does because like even though I like Mrgirl, I would never ever you would never in a million years catch me supporting or trying to defend Lav ever. With the very little that I've seen her ever do, never would you ever catch me defending Lav. So I don't know exactly what her online presence is like right now. I don't know if she's posting a lot of TikToks and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just saying like generally like if they were to have that type of relationship and Lav was just like a person tweeting and that's really it, I wouldn't necessarily think it's unethical. If her career is tied to the things that they're talking about and that relationship, then I would probably say, yeah, it's unethical. And
This is my thought process. I do not trust Lav to be able to make autonomous decisions given this relationship based on her own accounting of how much or how this relationship works and her past. On top of the fact that she cannot have her own autonomous political positions as well as her own, positions on various different things that she does, even that we wouldn't consider strictly speaking politics, without potentially ruining this career or ruining this relationship.
So are you saying that you can't trust Lav's opinions, or are you saying that Mrgirl is doing something wrong by creating this type of like potentially super intense
It
relationship,
is the
so that it makes it so that Lav can't really have her own opinions.
It is the exact same position that I have heard almost everybody have on Destiny's relationship with Anna, which is that I do not believe Lav is in a sound enough mental state and has clearly latched onto this individual to an inappropriate fashion that I do not believe a relationship is of this caliber is ethical. Like, I think they could be friends. That's fine. But the exact same argument is that I do not believe that by all information that we have, publicly accessible, that I've heard privately in regards to like people talking about things publicly that were private, right? Of that information that I have seen, she is not capable of having this kind of an intimate relationship, a father-daughter relationship with another person ethically, while also having like their professional public career being tied up in it, where they're making tweets talking about Max, you know, talking about the Destiny shit. I don't believe that we can. I don't believe that individual is of sound enough mind to do it. It's the same exact argument I have for Anna. This person's not sound enough mind to be able to engage in that kind of a relationship ethically.
I think a distinction that I would make between the two is that when it comes to sexual relationships between people, there's a lot of like consent that's involved. But let's say quote unquote father-daughter relationship doesn't really involve consent. It's just like the type of relationship that you might have with somebody.
Would you still think it's unethical would you think that Destiny's relationship with Anna would be unethical if Anna was calling her his father?
And they were sexting?
No. If they were just like very parasocial that way, like she was calling him her father, and he was agreeing with that. Do you think it would be unethical?
Not really.
Okay.
Like what? I mean, what does that really mean? Like, what if he's calling her that? That I mean, if she's calling him that like she trusts him and looks up to him, or like if that's what that means.
She trusted Steven. She looked up to Steven. She never called him her father.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is in the hypothetical that you're posing to me, it's like if Anna is calling Destiny her father, what does that even mean other than like they have a really close
it is very
relationship
simple
and
for
she
me.
looks up to him?
It has been shown this individual cannot have a healthy working relationship with other people without, you know, doing XYZ. In the case of Anna, you know, we could talk about. I want to, you know, minimize the conversation about Anna, but you know, I don't believe this person can have a healthy relationship with this other person, right? I believe the history has shown that, and especially in such a manner, and then therefore I don't believe they should be having this relationship. And in regards to Lav, she clearly has abandonment issues. She talks about her mommy issues, her daddy issues, her parental issues. She talks about those things quite a bit. It's quite open. She's very, you know, down about it. And then coincidentally, as well, at a similar time that she's talking about these things, you know, pretty openly, there's also a person that comes in who's like, oh yeah, by the way, like we've adopted you. Like, you don't think that's unethical to do? That's like not a relationship, especially when you have, I'm not talking about in general, but I'm talking about what makes it unethical is not just that, but also the fact that their like public credibility careers are intertwined. That like if she doesn't side with Mrgirl, there's a fair to reasonable chance that she could very well believe that Mrgirl is going to abandon her, and that creates a conflict of interest that makes it unethical to be in that relationship.
I want to stay within the parameters of what it is that you're saying, but I have to include this information because it it feels like a part of what it is that you're saying is that Lav can't be trusted to say what she really believes, otherwise Mrgirl will abandon her. But and so like it's kind of sneaking in this idea that
no. I'm not saying that necessarily is the case. What I'm saying is that is an obvious and clear conflict of interest for her.
Okay, yeah, it definitely
That's right.
is.
It's a part of the power dynamic of like a boss dating their coworker, right? Or dating an underling. It's that like, if I want to speak out against my boss, I might get fucking fired. There's no guarantee you get fired. There's no guarantee you lose your job. There's no guarantee of anything bad happening. But merely the idea that this could happen is like creates a situation where there is an unhealthy relationship between the two people.
But that's kind of my point. So are you saying that nobody can have a boss then? Because now,
no, I'm saying
if you say something against your boss, well, you could get fired. It's like, well, you can still have a boss, and the relationship can still be healthy just because there's a big power differential between the two people.
No, what I'm saying is that because of the it's what you said earlier, how the what was it? Your specific words. It was the opportunity for harm is so high and so reasonably there and realistic that I would say it is unethical. And there's no way for the person in power to either, one, properly communicate that it's not going to happen, and two, for that individual to know that they will stay consistent in that, as well as from the victim, or there's, I guess, the individual who's of lesser power in this situation. There is definitely no way to guarantee that the person with more power is going to stay consistent with their word, and there's definitely no way to make sure that that consistent their word will stay consistent over time. So I think it is unethical. So from here's my issue. From your perspective, all relationships are not unethical until they are until they're like actually like physically or emotionally abusive.
I think I would make that argument. I think so.
So you think a like mother can have sex with her daughter or their son?
Well, that's the abuse.
What's abusive about that?
It would be difficult to try and hammer it out right now, but like,
well, I mean, it's not very difficult. It's my argument, so I want to hear your argument.
Well, no, what I'm saying is like, you can have a relationship that has like a very large power imbalance, right? That could lead to really bad things. But unless the bad thing happens, then the relationship isn't inherently unethical, is what I would say. Because a mother could abuse their child in really, really bad ways. But just because that's the case doesn't mean that the relationship between a mother and their child is unethical.
Okay, so then, because I disagree, you tell me why the relationship between a mother and her son is unethical. I'd say the potentiality for harm and how realistic that potentiality is to come to fruition makes it unethical. Like, this is almost certainly going to happen. I'm not
talking about a sexual relationship. I'm saying a relationship between a mother and a child is not unethical. I'm talking because the mother. You're saying it is?
No, I'm saying a sexual relationship is what we're specifically talking about. That's what we specifically said.
Yeah, I understand, but you're introducing the sexual element into the relationship, and I'm saying that sexual element being introduced into the relationship is what makes it unethical.
Why? Why?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, it would be really hard to try and hammer it out.
Okay,
like,
hammer it out for me. I got all the time in the world. Do it. Because the reason why I've typically heard, and the reason why I give is my whole point for this. It's because the potentiality for harm is incredibly high. Technically, a mother can fuck their kid and there could be like no problems that happen. But the problem is there's practically 100% chance for significant, emotional distress towards that kid. The idea that kid feels like they're beholden to whatever their mother wants them to do. Like they have to do what their mother wants. They can't properly consent in that scenario. So I want to hear from you. Why is it bad?
All right. So follow me real quick on this. So if we take the example of the mother and their child, right? And we compare that to the example with Mrgirl and Lav, right? A mother and child relationship, like literally a relationship, not a sexual one, just a relationship between a mother and child isn't unethical or abusive. It becomes unethical or abusive when the mother begins.
Why?
But let me just draw the comparison so that you can understand why I'm confused. It becomes unethical when the mother introduces that sexual dynamic to the relationship, because the child has no way of knowing whether or not they're going to get punished, or whether or not there'll be repercussions if they deny, because of the big power differential.
Correct.
So when I bring it over to the Mr. Girl and Lav situation, there's a big power differential, right? But the relationship doesn't become unethical until some sort of element that makes it unethical gets introduced. Like if Mr. Girl's telling, like if Mr. Girl's telling Lav to do something, or introducing a sexual component to the relationship, but just having a power differential doesn't make the relationship unethical. Same thing with the mother and the child.
Didn't Mr. Girl have a conversation with Lav about leaving Destiny's community and talk about that? Have that conversation with her? Didn't that happen?
When I watched that conversation, at no point did Mr. Girl tell Lav to leave the community.
You don't have to. Hold on. Going back to the mother-son example, hey, son, do you want to have sex with me? She's not making him have sex with her. She's just making a simple request, and as their son, they don't really feel like they can say no. But the mother goes like, you can say no. There's nothing wrong with that. So back to the example that you originally gave with the mother and the son doing that thing. You gave great arguments as to why the mother and son. It was the potentiality for harm, because the son isn't probably going to feel like they're able to say no without getting punished, right? And it doesn't matter what the mother says. It will never, and it can never, be properly communicated to the son that they will not be punished if they say no, no matter what the mother says. I'd say the exact same thing applies to the Mr. Girl Lab situation, when they have such a bizarre relationship where there's a woman with clear abandonment issues and parental issues, and then you're saying shit like, I'm going to adopt you. And then you mix in the fact that she can't have any public political opinions without potentially fearing the punishment of Mr. Girl. I'm literally at this point using half of Mr. Girl's own arguments that he uses against Destiny. The idea that Lav might be looking over her shoulder for any political position she might be having, just in case they conflict with Mr. Girl's political positions for fear of backlash from her father, is very unethical to me.
I feel like for your argument to work, you have to establish some sort of like pattern of there being some sort of backlash for not following along with the person that has more power over you. No. Otherwise, because like it feels like anytime you enter a relationship with somebody who has more power over you, it's unethical. No, because if you ever do something that they don't like,
it's a threshold. It's obviously a threshold.
Like the amount of power.
The amount of power and how realistic that power is to be abused is massively important. This is what I said.
The realisticness of of whether or not the power can be abused is based on the person who has the power.
Yeah, and the person who doesn't have the power is just beholden to the person who does, and just
but they have to cross. To do what?
What do you mean?
Mr. Girl hasn't made any, as far as I'm aware, he hasn't told Lav to do anything, suggested that she do anything. So
the problem is you're seeing this for the sexual relationship and you're not applying it to other relationships. The reason why I brought up the sexual relationship is because you recognize this. The mother doesn't have to do anything with the son. They don't have to demand anything of the son for the son to have that relationship be unethical. You said because if the son doesn't do anything that the mother clearly wants, right? If the son doesn't do anything, they're afraid of punishment, right? And what I established to you was a clear link towards Lav having to look over her shoulder for possible political opinions, siding with Destiny, or possibly not burning the bridge with Destiny as something she might get punishment about. And in the example with the mom, you do not need a history of the mom punishing the kid for not having sex with them to have that relationship be unethical. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay, and then why not apply that to the Mr. Girl situation? He does not need to have an established history of punishing Lav for Lav to feel as though she doesn't have autonomy in that relationship, to be able to go like, no, actually, I do think I agree with Destiny. I actually do think I side with Destiny on this. She doesn't have and it doesn't even have to be about Destiny. It can be about anybody.
Let me offer up another hypothetical, because obviously I think I'm right. So yeah, I just want to put that out there so that, you know.
Well, obviously, yeah.
I think that we're getting confused because of the sexual component of the mother-son relationship. If there was a father who was a staunch conservative, super duper crazy conservative, hates LGBT people, all that, he thinks that they're all groomers, and that person had a son who was gay, and that gay son was not out of the closet. Do you think that the relationship between the father and the son is unethical without the father having said, you know, if you're gay, I'll do this, or without him having said anything like that? Do you think that the relationship is unethical just because of the great power differential and the ability for the son to get kicked out of the house, be treated like garbage? Like, do you think that there's an unethical relationship there?
What? How? I don't even understand who. I mean, we're assuming the father would be having an unethical relationship with their son?
I'm asking you if you think that that relationship would be unethical.
I don't even know how that could be unethical. I don't even understand the hypothetical. How that could, who would be unethical, even if it was unethical?
That's what I'm saying.
So the answer is no, and I think that's a completely different scenario. But
well, no, the way in which the scenario is the same is that just because the son is in a position where he might disagree with his father, that doesn't mean that without the father having done anything, that they're in an unethical relationship. The same way I'm saying with Mrgirl and Lav, if Mrgirl, quote unquote, is Lav's father, that doesn't mean that it's unethical because we haven't seen Mrgirl do anything.
But we also didn't
to hinder Lav if she disagrees with him or says something that he doesn't like.
But we also didn't see the mother do any punishment towards the kid the son that doesn't want to have sex with him. We haven't seen any punishment.
What I'm saying is the mother, by the virtue of the mother asking the son to have sex, that is what is wrong. She's overstepping her boundaries within the relationship.
Hold on then. Let's say the son asked the mother for sex then.
Okay.
Right? Let's say that happens and then they establish a sexual relationship, right? Yeah. Do you think do you think then that's unethical? Or do you think it's fine because the son is asking?
No. I still think it's
Why?
unethical, yeah.
The mother isn't making any requests. She's leaving it to her son. Whenever you want to, it's down. But I don't want to pressure you, son. I'm not going to do anything. But, you know, whenever you want to.
I would say that, like, the son doesn't know any better, and the person with more power should use that power to establish a good relationship with clear boundaries between somebody, even if they don't know any better.
I agree. And I think
kind of like the Anna situation.
Yeah, sure. I can agree with that. Yeah, I think that the individual in question is not capable of autonomous thinking. I think they have an established history of not having a trauma or something that causes this individual to not be able to participate in a possible whatever kind of relationship in question, whether it be a friendship, intimate friendship, or a relationship, or a sexual relationship, whatever, right, with another person, and then that makes it the onus on the individual with the most autonomy to go, no, this isn't ethical. I would argue this is the case with Mrgirl. You have a woman that clearly has abandonment issues, that clearly has mommy and daddy issues, and you are saying, I'm going to adopt you after they're crying on stream over their, like, mother. Like, this is a unethical relationship, especially when you add the professional component that, hey, listen, I'm your newly adopted, or like you're my newly adopted daughter, and I'm like going to war with the community with a person that you are friends with them. So I'm not saying you need to do anything, son or daughter, right? Son, to bring it back over to the other thing. I'm not saying you need to do anything, but I am going to war with one of your friends and communities, so it's up to you what you want to do. It's very obvious that this is not a healthy relationship, is it not? Like, do you think Lav has good autonomy in that situation to go, yeah, you know what? Actually, I want to side with Destiny.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
It's well, I still think there's a difference between the situation with with a mother asking her son for sex. But I like Mrgirl shouldn't have even tried to establish a relationship like that with Lav, considering all of the circumstances surrounding it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think we use potentiality for harm in so many of our arguments on day-to-day basis. It's not that there is nothing. You understand? There's nothing intrinsically wrong with a boss like fucking an employee, right? There's nothing intrinsically wrong with any really sexual relationship at all until like something goes wrong. But when we go about sexual relationships that way, we're just being blind to the very obvious potentiality and realistic way that these things are probably going to end, which is somebody being massively hurt. We're just waiting for something to go wrong. What is it? There's a saying about like what is it? Usually innovation usually happens when people start dying. And I feel like we should have learned our lesson with shit like this, that there's certain relationships that just shouldn't be had even before anything bad is done at all, because of the potentiality for harm, because of that power dynamic existing, and the way that the relationship is set up, right?
Okay. Let's say there was never a falling out between Mrgirl and Destiny, and everything was just peachy keen, and everybody loved Mrgirl, and everybody loved Destiny, and everybody loved Lav.
Yep.
Would you say under those circumstances it would still be highly unethical?
I think it is wrong to say that you are the father of a woman who has clearly had abandonment issues and parental issues, say they have mommy daddy issues, and try and say that you're their father if you have a career stake in their professional life. Yeah.
Okay.
So if it was just a personal relationship, if Mrgirl was just friends with them, I would still think it's weird, but I don't believe it's unethical. No. I think you can be friends with somebody that has abandonment issues or whatever, and then really establish like a close bond, like a father-daughter relationship, and have that be really fucking wholesome and really nice and great. But I think when you mix business in with that, when you mix the career, how they make their money, I think that's when it becomes pretty unethical.
Okay, I have two more hypotheticals, and then I think I'm done. Let's say Lav was what's that guy's name? Rose Wrist age.
Yep.
And so she well, like let's say like a year younger than Rose Wrist. So she actually was a minor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Mrgirl actually did literally adopt her. Would that still be unethical?
With with everything else being the same, like they both are 100%.
Okay. And let's say Lav had the most beautiful relationship with her parents. There was no problem.
Yep.
With her parents. And then Mrgirl said that he's her father. Would that be unethical?
Yeah, I don't really think so, because I wouldn't have any reason to believe that assuming that she doesn't still have the abandonment issues and the mommy and daddy issues, which I'm assuming she wouldn't, because she has a great relationship with her parents, is what you said. Mm-hmm. So no, I think the problem is she has a clear established emotional trauma. She's fucking crying on stream, talking about self-harm and shit. Because
everybody
of it.
Cries on stream. You know
no shot, nigga.
I saw you crying in your last stream yesterday.
When? Over what? Are you talking about my mother who's dying of Alzheimer's, nigga?
Honestly,
you're gonna compare? Really? You're talking about my mother who's dying of Alzheimer's, and you're gonna compare that to, okay? Like, come on.
No. Listen.
Let's stop playing then.
No. Listen, I like trolling, but then I remember that you did talk about that, so it was actually a bad joke. I'm sorry. I wasn't talking about that, but it was just a bad joke. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I think there's a clear difference between somebody that's clearly, who just like 3 weeks ago experiencing the trauma of abandonment, right, from their parents, right? And they're crying on stream, talking about self-harm and shit. And in comparison to somebody, if you want to talk about me, who has stated almost every day for the last fucking 4 years on stream, I'm a very happy man. I'm going through a tough time in my life, but I'm a very happy man. I'm incredibly happy. I'm probably in the top 0.00001% for emotional stability out of people on Earth. And I could tell you that if you knew more about me and my personal life, you would say that's absolutely true. I'm going through a lot of shit, but I'm still a very happy, grateful man to be on this planet Earth 100% of the time. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because there is a big difference between somebody like me and somebody like Lav, who's fucking breaking down on stream over these past experiences. I never met my father. You don't see me breaking down and crying about that shit, about that abandonment and stuff. And it would be fine and reasonable for me to do so. But the whole point of that difference is that there's probably not going to be, like, if Mrgirl wanted to say I was his son, it's probably less likely that that relationship is going to be unethical. unethical because I don't have a tangible, especially recent history of emotional distress and trauma over the abandonment of my father. But Lav does. Lav does has a recorded, edited footage on her YouTube channel, fucking of her crying about this shit.
Okay, I see your point. Yeah. I think I agree with you. I probably don't agree with you as intensely as you feel about it or anybody else feels about it, but I think I agree with you that it's unethical for him to be saying that he's her father.
So I would just then hold on. Can we go back to one thing one real quick? Why is it wrong if the son is trying to fuck the mother? Why is that wrong? Because when I'm talking about it, it's the potentiality for harm. What you said, it was because the son might be afraid to, maybe not keep up with that. They might be afraid to possibly get a girlfriend. They might be, afraid to stop doing it. They might be afraid to do a lot of these things for fear of punishment and that power dynamic. Those are things, but these aren't even things that need to have a history of happening for me to say that this is an unethical relationship. Do you agree that these things don't even need to occur for you to say, nope, foul on the play? Shouldn't do it.
Well, I'm sorry. I zoned out for a second.
Okay. Mother, son, sexual relationship. Son approaches mom for sex. They bang. All right? Do you think that relationship is unethical?
Yes.
Why?
Because of the risk of harm
I agree.
that could come to the son.
I agree.
The mother should be smart enough and know enough not to even allow the relationship to go there, so as to keep the son out of harm.
Too based. I completely agree. With that being the case, I am just using that in the same reasoning that we're using there. I don't think it needs to be sexual. Do you think it needs to be sexual for that potentiality of harm to be there in any kind of relationship? Or do you think even that potentiality of harm can exist outside of sexual relationships?
I think I'm going to reveal something about myself.
Okay. Well, make sure you want to do it in public.
I'm Catholic.
Oh,
I know.
That's
disgusting.
yeah. I gotta end the call. I gotta end the call, man.
So, there's like an aspect to sexual sex and sexual relationships that kind of heightens the stakes as far as I'm concerned. I feel like a lot of people agree with it. They just don't like to verbalize that for whatever reason.
I think a lot of people would verbalize it. I mean, I agree with that. There's a lot of emotional trauma and emotions just in general that can come with having a sexual relationship in comparison to a romantic one. Absolutely.
Okay. So because of that fact, I don't think it's the same generally, but I think that the potentiality for the risk of harm can exist in other types of relationships.
Right, so that's the core argument, is that the potentiality for harm, the whole point is to establish it's not that harm needs to be done, it's that the potentiality for harm and how severe that harm can be just needs to be there for it to potentially be unethical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore we can use that argument and we can apply it to different things. I agree with you that it's not going to probably be 1-to-1 because sex is like a very personal, intimate thing to do that can, just by the very nature of sex, what it is, I'd say it has a higher potential for harm than just being like friends, generally speaking, right? But that doesn't mean that, that potentiality for harm can't exist in a friendship. It definitely can, an unethical relationship. And I would say we're looking at one of them. I don't think Mrgirl or Lav or Shaylin and Lav are sexually, intimate or even romantically intimate. I think that this is a case where a friendship has met my bar for unethical practice. And it sounded like you agreed at the end of it.
I think I agree based on the totality of the circumstances, but I don't really agree as far as really agree as far as the idea that the potential of the harm I don't feel. I feel like it's not being manifested in any type of way. Like
I
if we
agree. I agree. I have no evidence of the relationship between Mr. Girl and Lav having been abused or been like having negatively impacted Lav's mental health. I might actually be able to. You might even be able to make an argument that there's only evidence that it's benefited her mental health so far, but that doesn't defeat the argument, right? You can make the argument that from any relationship that has unethical risk of harm to a partner as being beneficial most of the time. This is a lot of the argument that people make, or this was the argument we shot down earlier from Will. Destiny, Mr. Girl, and myself all shot down this argument from Will when he was on the panel where he's like, yeah, but, Destiny made your career, so how can it be abusive? It doesn't fucking matter, right? You could, if you believe that the relationship between the people can be abusive or is ripe for abuse, it doesn't matter whether or not they benefit you, or even if they benefit you the entire time, all the way up to the dissolution of the relationship and nothing bad ever happened. It doesn't matter. The relationship can be unethical on the merits.
Okay.
So I agree with you. I have no evidence to show that Mr. Girl has done anything unethical to Lav. But
let me try and draw another comparison between the example of the mother and the son and Lav and Mr. Girl, right? In the example of the mother and the son, if the son asks the mother to have sex, she should say no because of the potentiality of the harm. Right?
I agree.
Okay. So in an example with Lav and Mr. Girl, when Lav asked Mr. Girl, do you think I should leave Destiny's orbit? He didn't say yes. He didn't say no. He said, you should decide for yourself.
No. That's not the one-to-one comparison. The one-to-one comparison would be that when they try and establish this weird father-daughter dynamic, Mr. Girl goes, nope. You have a history of abandonment issues. You have a history of mommy and daddy issues. I cannot contextualize our relationship that way. That is not the right thing to do. That is the appropriate analogy, and I agree.
I don't think it is, because the difference is the son is asking to do an action with the mother.
That recontextualizes their relationship.
It doesn't recontextualize it. It turns it into a different one.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's... sure, I agree. And I would agree with the same thing with
Lav and
Mr.
Girl. I don't think it's really turning it into a different relationship. I think it's just recontextualizing. Yeah.
You don't think... What?
I think it's just like a close platonic relationship where he feels like, to a certain degree, he has like
hold on.
sort of
let me rephrase this. You think a young woman with abandonment issues, mommy issues, daddy issues, parental issues, right, who has been crying on stream about how they need like approval from people and they want validation, you think that person, right, you think that individual is not does not view another person saying, we are adopting you, you are my daughter now. You don't think they view that as a new type of relationship? It's just a friendship with a different label on it?
I think
it is a massive difference of a relationship for that individual. I feel like that was a really big deal to...
I think the difference is, in the relationship with the mother and the son, they have a mother-son relationship, and by having sex, now they have a romantic sexual relationship. And a part of having a romantic sexual relationship is that you have sex. So having sex part is important to turn it into that. Whereas with the with Lav and Mr. Girl's relationship, all of the parts of the relationship that they had then could still exist now after it turns into a quote unquote mother-father relationship. Like the way that the relationship is might not have changed at all. It's just a different name for it. You see what I'm saying? Like the relationship has actually changed with the mother and son. So the relationship between Lav and Mr. Girl might not have changed at all. It just has a different name.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Here's the issue: that name is clearly this is where,
and that's the part where I agree that it's bad.
So
because
this relationship recontextualization is clearly and obviously more important to one party than it is another. Like that's
where I agree that it's bad.
And it can cause them severe emotional distress if those expectations are not met. And I would say that potentiality makes it unethical. And it seemed like you agreed. So if Lav came out tomorrow and said, I never wanted to leave Destiny's community, I just felt pressured because my father told me that he wanted to leave the community and I didn't really want to upset my father, you would just go, tough shit, should have been tougher, kiddo? You would have no sympathy for the idea of, yeah, maybe Mr. Girl should have realized that this was kind of unethical and maybe he shouldn't have engaged in this relationship. I would have been like, yeah, obviously, dumb fuck, that was going to happen.
But this is what I mean. I would think that it's unethical because he's playing on like her abandonment issues. But I don't think it's unethical because there's a conflict of interest. Because let's say I was a radical conservative and my father was a super liberal, right? And he wanted to go to a Biden rally. And later on, I go, my dad, he took me to all these Biden rallies and I didn't want to disagree with him because, he's my dad. It's like, okay, but that's not really his fault unless you verbalize that you don't want to do it. Him asking you, and let's say he doesn't know that I'm conservative, him asking me to go with him to a rally isn't his fault. It's my fault if I don't say anything. It's my fault if I don't choose not to go. Or even if it's not my fault, you can't blame him.
I don't think this analogy works. Maybe this analogy would work if you had like a crippling fear of liberals.
But this is what I'm saying, right?
I do not believe him calling her daughter is unethical on its own. I think what makes it unethical is that she obviously has abandonment and issues, daddy issues, mommy issues that she's expressed about within the past several weeks. That's
where I think the unethicalness of it starts and stops because of that. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't think it's unethical.
Yeah, I agree. If she didn't have abandonment issues, this wouldn't be a problem. I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so then what's the point of, I guess, the other examples? So what do we disagree on?
It felt like you were saying just by having that type of relationship, it ties Lav's hands so that she can't say anything.
No, it necessarily. So hold on. Why is it unethical then to have that kind of a relationship? Because I feel like the obvious answer is exactly what you just said. Why is it unethical? Okay, so why is it unethical to have that kind of a relationship with somebody who clearly has abandonment issues, mommy, daddy issues? Why is that bad?
It might potentially be taking advantage of those abandonment issues. That's why.
In what ways?
Not because of the power differential between.
In what ways would somebody take advantage of that?
I mean, there are lots of ways that somebody could take advantage of it, but I'm just
perhaps trying to get them to make statements about a community that they might not really believe in. Perhaps making them make political statements in general that they might not otherwise make.
Mm-hmm. That's one way in which those are two ways in which you could take advantage of.
And that's my whole point. And so from Lav's perspective, or from our perspective, we cannot and from Mr. Girl's perspective, I don't think he can engage in that situation ethically. And a part of that reason is because the thing that she was trying to do for her career and grow her platform was massively infringed on whether or not Mr. Girl had say so. And there was no way for either party to communicate 100% that, Mr. Girl wasn't going to get upset, or that Lav was going to know that Mr. Girl was going to get upset. Mr. Girl can't communicate that to Lav. Lav can't, confirm that from Mr. Girl. There is no way to confirm any of that information. And so just saying, hey, look, Lav, if Lav said, hey, I felt pressured by Mr. Girl to side with him on all of these issues, you just going, well, I mean, that's your own damn fault. I don't really think it's just her own damn fault. I think it is cooler heads who prevail, and that we should, as reasonable people, not engage in unreasonable, unethical relationships. So I think Mr. Girl would have some blame in that situation, because it's obvious that she isn't going to be politically autonomous given this situation.
Let's say Melina secretly felt like Mr. Girl was right about all of this, but she didn't say anything. Or she publicly sided with Destiny because of the fact that they're married. Would you say that Destiny is wrong, or
No,
engaged in that relationship
they're in an equal parts relationship where I don't believe Melina has any significant emotional trauma that would impede her ability to remove herself from Steven. She's an autonomous individual. If Melina had a history of abandonment issues from her past partners, or that if she had abuse, a history of abuse, of staying with abusive partners, and I had evidence to show that Steven was also abusive towards Melina, then yeah, I would say yeah. But as far as I'm aware, they're equal partners in an equal relationship, that she is an adult and can just decide to not be a part of that relationship anymore. Also, their careers are not nearly as connected. Melina's career is not nearly as much about politics and talking about these issues as Steven's career is connected to politics. So no, I don't think they're analogous.
Okay. So you're saying because of the fact that Lav's career is in this political sphere, and she has the abandonment issues,
and her career is getting tied up with Mrgirl's career. So there's a financial interest in Mrgirl having Lav on her side, or on his side. Yeah, on his side. And to potentially burn bridges or to connect with people that she has connections with. I think it is ripe for unethical behavior, so much so that I believe the very existence of the relationship is in that capacity is unethical.
So if they had the same exact type of relationship, but Mrgirl just never said, I'm her father or she's my daughter, there would be no issue?
I don't know the intricacies of their relationship. It could be all above board, like I said to you. But
well, no, I'm not saying that you do. I'm saying, let's say they just had the exact same relationship, however it is, but Mrgirl just didn't say, that's my daughter. Would you say that it's unethical, the relationship?
I haven't seen anything independently of that, no. The reason why I believe it's unethical is because they're even in public framing. I mean, in private, they could be framing it differently, but in public, they are framing it as though they're adopted. Well, I mean, they should have said, we're adopting her. Like, they're clearly playing into, whether they believe unethically or not, they're playing into her abandonment and parental issues. So if they were just like friends or whatever, then yeah.
I don't know if you can ascribe that intent to them. Like, they know that that's what they're doing.
I never said that I literally explicitly said if they know it or not, they are doing it. They are playing into that.
Okay.
If they know it or not. Like, you realize that even if their intentions are great, they are playing into her abandonment issues.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah, but I would say it's probably pretty reasonable that somebody with parental abandonment issues being called or saying that they're getting adopted by another group of people, probably that is significant to them, if I had to guess.
Okay. I understand your point. I think I agree with you to a certain degree. I think there are parts where I don't agree with you, but
Where do you not agree with me? I feel like we've agreed on just about everything that we've said. It just took us a while to get there. We agree that Lav does not have full autonomy, and there's no way for Mrgirl to communicate full autonomy towards Lav in this kind of a situation. We have every reason to believe that she still has ongoing abandonment issues, and that something like this would be very significant to her. And we agree that it is unethical on the merits of those abandonment issues to call yourself her father. With the maybe you disagree with the financial interests in there. It's
no. The part that I specifically disagree with is that it's wrong for us to not know whether or not Lav has full autonomy in the decisions that she's making within this relationship.
It's wrong for us to not know. I never said it's wrong for us to not know.
No, the fact that we because of the relationship, we don't know if Lav has full autonomy in the decisions that she makes. I don't think that that's wrong.
What? It's not wrong for us to say it again?
Okay. You just said like 3 different things, right?
Okay.
3 reasons why it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
One was the financial part, right?
Mm-hmm.
One was the abandonment issues, right?
Yep.
And then the last one was that because of the power differential within the relationship, we don't know whether or not Lav has full autonomy in the decisions that she's making, right? Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, that's a part of the reason why it's bad.
Yeah.
So there's
I don't think that that's bad.
You don't think it's bad for somebody to not have full autonomy?
We don't know if she doesn't have full autonomy.
But we have reason to believe that realistically her autonomy can be impeded by the relationship with Mrgirl being contextualized in the way that it is.
It could be impeded.
Yes,
one,
and that,
hold up, wait, allow me to finish.
Yeah.
We don't have evidence that it's been impeded. And two, there are plenty of other relationships where there's a large power differential where somebody's autonomy could be impeded, but unless we have evidence that it has been impeded or that the person in power has asked the person with less power to do something that could impede their autonomy, we don't consider those relationships unethical.
No, that's not true. This is why we brought up the other situation. It is the probability and possibility for harm. We already brought this up. No harm needs to occur. No suggestion of harm. Nothing needs to occur. It's that very realistically, this position of power can be abused to such a significant degree at the detriment not only of their career, but also their interpersonal mental state.
I understand. What I'm saying is it takes two parts. You either, for that to be a problem, either you have to have evidence that has been a problem, or the person in power has to make an ask that could play into that problem. If you don't have one of those two, then it's not a problem, because in a relationship between a mother and a son, it could be rife with abuse. But unless we have evidence that a mother and son have had sex, or evidence that the mom has asked the son to have sex, then there's no problem with the relationship.
Again, that's not the analogy being drawn between the two actions. So, because this was part of the reason why I asked you it was unethical. Why is it unethical to have the relationship if it's not because of the potentiality for Lav to not have autonomy in her decision making? Because that's the reason why it's bad.
I'm saying that it's bad because of the abandonment issues.
Why is that bad?
Because I think you're playing into a trauma that she has, and you just shouldn't do that.
Why is that bad?
To play into a trauma that somebody has?
Yeah, because somebody, legitimately, because we both agree, right, that if their careers were not established together or whatever, and there's like a little girl that meets some, that has like an uncle or something that she really looks up to, she has abandonment issues with her parents, and the uncle's like, yeah, you know what, I'll take care of you, whatever. They establish essentially a father-daughter relationship. There's nothing wrong with that. So what is? I'm assuming you agree, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so abandonment issues on their own is not bad. So what I am saying is what makes it bad is abandonment issues, plus the way that they're contextualizing, the relationship as father-daughter, plus the career. And then the reason why that is bad, all three of those things, is because it impedes her ability to be autonomous. You understand? I'm not just saying those are the reasons why. I'm saying those are the reasons. Those are why I believe it's bad, and the result of why I believe it's bad, and the real world implications is that her autonomy is impeded.
When I was 18, my autonomy was impeded by my parents. Was that bad?
Not without the abandonment. Like I don't. Okay, hold on.
It has to be all three?
No. In this instance, I'm explaining why it is bad. It doesn't have to be all three. I'm explaining why it's bad in this instance. And if you disagree, so it's A plus B plus C equals D, right? Okay. You understand? A, yeah. She has abandonment issues. B, with her parents and daddy issues, mommy issues. B, they are framing and contextualizing the relationship as being her parents. C, they have a career and financial stake in interest that coincide with each other, i.e. their political overlap. Even on TikTok, she was doing some political feminist stuff, right? So their political overlap is significant, right? Mm. And then D, the reason why it equals D, the reason why those three things are bad is because it will impede her autonomy to be able to, for instance, be on TikTok and start talking about feminist stuff. What if a viewer of hers comes on, or somebody comes to challenge her on TikTok and is like, hey, aren't you like the fucking daughter of this guy who made like a video saying he was a rapist, and then she, from her feminist perspective, needs to now play defense for her father, and that creates a very distinct conflict of interest. Do you understand that? Like, it impedes her autonomy to be able to do these things where she might otherwise go, yeah, you know what, that is really bad. It impedes her ability to do those things. It impedes her ability to stay in Destiny's community. It impedes her ability to do those things. D is the reason why it's bad. But A, B, and C are the things that lead into it being bad. Do you understand?
So D is why it's bad.
Correct. And A, B, and C are the components that make D a reality.
That just make D, right?
That make D a reality. Without C, without the financial career component, I could say that could be ethical. Like we was talking about, the uncle. You have a woman with abandonment issues, and you have individuals that are like kind or nice to her, and that view it as a father-daughter relationship. That can be ethical. That can be perfectly ethical, right? A, on their own, just a woman with abandonment issues. That's not unethical, right? You could, I guess, say you should go see therapy for it, but like, that's not unethical. So, right, A plus B plus C creates the conditions for D is the justification for why it's bad. Understand?
Okay. I don't want to loop on this too long.
Okay.
So let me just ask, and what is D?
D is her inability to be able to, for her inability to be autonomous. The realistic, the potentiality for harm is very high, that she's not able to have her own autonomous political positions outside of Mrgirl having the checks and balances. She's always looking over her shoulder as to whether or not her political positions are to be evaluated through Mrgirl's lens. Because if she upsets him, well, she's upsetting her father. She doesn't want to upset her father because also, it can affect her career. Disagreeing with him affects the career. It also upsets the father. She doesn't want to upset the father because she has abandonment issues. And it creates a massive inability for, in my opinion, that relationship to be ethical.
Okay. The problem that I have is that D, which is why the relationship is wrong, can apply to a lot of different relationships.
Sure.
The reason why D comes about is because of A, B, and C, but D exists in a lot of different relationships. And so to me, merely D is not wrong.
D to the level at which the potentiality is for D is the problem.
So it's a capital D instead of a lowercase D.
Yes, it is big D. That's what it is. Real big D.
Big D.
Real
massive
meaty D.
Throbbing D.
Yes, it is. Okay?
Okay.
Because I agree with you. It's just like power dynamics. Power dynamics are not intrinsically bad, but in synchronous with other things and with the potentiality for harm, it can be a necessary component to making something bad.
Okay. All right. I understand your perspective fully. I'm not sure if I agree. Maybe I'll go on Mrgirl's hotline and ask him about this.
I would recommend it, yeah.
I have one more thing to say.
Yeah.
Genuinely, earlier in the conversation, I like trolling and memeing. When I said the thing about you crying, I was saying it because I know that you're not very outwardly emotional on the stream and everything. I wasn't trying to make a joke about the situation that you're going through or anything like that. So
no, I didn't feel that way. What I felt like, honestly, the weirdest part for me was the comparison, because I have something that is ongoing that I'm dealing with on a day-to-day basis that didn't happen fucking 20 years ago, right? That is happening, right? It is more reasonable, even if I was breaking down and crying every day on stream, it is more reasonable for me to do that and have people understand that this is probably something that would make sense to still be crying about because it's happening every day in front of me live, in comparison to, parents abandoning you 15 years ago and then you going, okay, which one is more reasonable to interpret that this is going to be a long-term significant trauma towards this person, right? It's like, it's like if my mother died tomorrow and I was crying about it, I don't think anybody could ascertain whether or not I'm going to have trauma about it forever, or for a very long time in the future, or how significant that's going to be long-term. But when somebody is, crying and talking about self-harm on their stream or edited, curated YouTube videos about something that happened 10, 15 years ago, right? Then we can probably say, yeah, this is probably a long-term, sustained, maybe very traumatic experience for this person that's going to take a while to recover from. These are those. So even under the accepted premise, it didn't really make sense to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that, like, when I made the joke, it literally had nothing to do with your mother or your situation. I was just like, the joke was that
literal joke.
Yeah, it was a joke, but the joke was that you're not an emotional person, and I was saying that you were. That's all that I was like. I was just joking. I wasn't even being serious.
I legitimately took it as a comparison. And
no.
All right.
I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb.
All right. All right. Listen, I like you, Benny. All right. Wait. Last thing before you leave. Do you believe that? I know you don't agree with all my reasoning. Do you believe the relationship is unethical?
I think it is. I think that Mrgirl shouldn't have established that relationship because of how potentially catastrophic it could be, or how silencing it could be for Lav. But for me, I think for that reason, you could say I would say it's probably unethical.
Okay.
Unethical with
I agree.
Lowercase u, not an uppercase u, for me personally. And I don't think it's abusive. That's originally what I came on to talk about, whether or not it was abusive as opposed to unethical. Sure. I definitely don't, or at least I haven't seen any evidence that it's abusive. Unethical, I could give it a lowercase u.
Okay.
All right.
See you later.
Thanks for the conversation.
Yep.
Peace out.
Much love. Bye.
Look at that place. I checked that out, actually.
That place at what? No fiber means no good. No fiber is no bueno, okay? Adios, muchacha. I put in work. I linked you the fiber map. Okay, I picked the first place. Whatever you said, I looked at the first place. I fell in love with it. The view looks so amazing from the balcony. Okay, wait, no. I mean the other place that you linked me, the first one. The place you linked me that was near everything you said, and it's near the standard. Yeah, it's beautiful. I said 5K limit. If you want to do 8K a month, that's fine, but you're paying 50% of the rent. Well,
nope.
Time to find a poly third roommate, Mel. Do you want me to start looking? Because if you want to live with 3 incomes, we can do that. I'm okay with that. Just listen to.
Listen, I'm not poly, but I'm looking for a place. Not at fucking 8K, though. Even split 3 ways, you niggas balling.
Bedroom, okay? I love you. Yeah? You hate that what? You don't like streaming in the bedroom? Yeah. Well, 3-bedroom would be nice. Or you could set up in, like, the living room if you want.
All right, hold on. We're skipping. Skippers! Where's my skippers at? Where are my skippers?
It's a long fucking question. When Stardust and Cheery accused you of sexual harassment, one of the main reasons it was horrifying because even as obvious and untrue as an accusation, even though they believe it to be true, it becomes a permanent mark on your record. How would you reconcile that with your statements that he is an abuser, he being Destiny, and a sexual one at that, as well as supporting Lab's Weinstein comments, as well as implying he is like Weinstein through tweets? Jesus Christ. I think there's like
I can't understand the question.
Can't understand it.
I
can't
think
answer
what they're
it.
saying is...
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
That,
Last question.
Let me go to the Stardust and Cherry
Next.
thing. Oh, so there's a statement that is, you have acknowledged that when Stardust and Cherry lodged an accusation at you, that you acknowledge that even if it was proven to be false, that this is a permanent stain on your record, or this is a stain on your permanent record.
Yeah.
And
I think a question that follows this is that how can you say the things about Destiny that you have said
almost
were
cleared
implied,
this whole fucking planet out, guys. We're
without
almost there. Oh my god.
doing the same thing?
You can't. It will always be true that I have accused Destiny of being abusive.
Sexually.
And there's nothing anyone can do to take that back.
To women.
That's
I
true.
think he admitted earlier that he thinks it probably is unethical that he came forward and he wouldn't have probably done it if he
It
didn't
wasn't
have
for
to.
Destiny.
I don't think it's unethical to come forward. I think Destiny is abusive. I know Destiny is abusive.
No,
He's
to come
an-
forward
he's-
before you're finished.
With women.
With
With women.
Sure.
With
Yeah.
women.
well, no,
Sexually with
again,
women.
we
Say
didn't
it,
come
Max.
forward.
I know Destiny's
I
abusive.
said he was abusive on stream with him. Nobody had a problem with that, right?
I am an
This is what I'm talking about with the blackmail.
Well, just to come
No,
forward with the
no, follow my
investigation.
train of thought, Smith. Follow my fucking train of thought.
Yeah, Smith.
Yes,
We were on
sir.
stream. I called Destiny abusive on stream. I said you're abusive to your orbiters. No one even noticed.
Any thoughts on his rents versus own take? I think it's whack to discourage home ownership and have a renting for all attitude. I don't know what his specific prescriptions are. For me, it's pretty much this simple. If you're going to be inside of a place for a very long period of time and you want to start accruing familial wealth, owning property can be pretty good. But for 99% of people, renting is better. Because there's no guarantee that you're going to be in one place for fucking 20 plus years. There's no guarantee that you're going to be in one spot for that long. And in fact, it's quite realistic you won't be in one spot for like 20 plus years. I mean, take me, for example, right? I own a house. I have moved, I think like 6 times in the last 2 years. I moved like 6 times, right? I've moved so much and I'm probably going to need to move again. I've moved so many times.
That I said that. None of you even remember me saying that.
I remember that.
Okay, you remember that. Was it a big deal when I said it?
No, because you're a fucking
Oh,
joke.
What did people-
If I had started owning a house, I would be fucked. But because my house is already paid off, it's not really that big of a deal.
coming out?
And because I don't need to pay it off, I can just pay for income. Sounds like you made the same argument Max did to Steven. Wasn't Steven's Max's streaming father? No. The reason, well, even if he was, it wouldn't be unethical. The just because of the power dynamic of money isn't necessary. What I was talking about previously was the business being intertwined, the clear abandonment issues that Lav has, and then the contextualizing of the relationship as being father-daughter. You could become a landlord, though. Do you want to be like Dan? I don't mind the idea of becoming a landlord at all. I wouldn't want to manage the people in the property, so I'd have to have a supervisor, like a building supervisor. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it.
That's why you end up making
was there
a
tribunal
sexual
held? Were
thing.
people coming out of the fucking woodwork to interrogate me about saying that?
That's
Well,
because
no,
you made it a sexual thing.
Please, follow my train of thought. Just stop.
I will.
Stop
You
derailing.
need
Answer
right
the
now?
fuck.
I will
Answer.
not.
Answer the fucking question.
Answer the
I will,
goddamn
please.
question.
Please.
Yes. Okay. People
Answer.
did not cling to that.
Right? It wasn't a big deal. So me publicly stating that Destiny is abusive is not the thing that triggered this.
It's the
I had
sexual
already
thing.
said that.
It's
the thing that
the-
triggered this was Destiny making the claim for me and saying, I've decided that now I've decided it's a big deal that Max is saying this to people. But I'd already said it.
No, you hadn't implied that there was a sexual abuse problem with women. If you just said I was an abuser and then you started talking to people like claiming I was an abuser and you want to talk to people, that's fine, whatever. It's weird, but you go for it. It's the sexual abuser.
Isn't this the same logic why Mrgirl thought what Dr. K was doing wrong, especially with Wreckful? Yep. It wasn't necessarily that he was just doing like bad things. It was that the potentiality for harm. And I think he even used Wreckful's suicide as an argument that there was a severe potential for harm. I don't think anybody disagreed that there was a serious potential for harm for what Dr. K could have been doing. Maybe there were. I don't know. I think there was a lot of people that agreed with the idea that there was a serious potential for harm. It's just, did it meet the threshold for serious enough that we full stop it is unethical, or was it serious enough to the point where it was like worrying, but not quite enough to be that's it, you're done.
Thing.
I already said it in public in front of 10,000 people. So this is what I'm talking about. This is how he twists the narrative and controls the conversation. So suddenly,
God.
I've come forward, but I
Oh,
already come
God.
forward.
Well, Sherry, I love the idea of sitting in one place for a long period of time. I love the idea of doing that. The problem is life kind of gets in the way of that. You have experiences, you have people that move around, you have people that you want to see, you have job opportunities in different areas. So things just become difficult. Unless you build like and establish a career with a company that's good. Like the only reason why my mom and my grandma got this house and then started paying it off, and then I ultimately finished paying it off, was because of my mother had a government job here. Like the government isn't going anywhere, you know? So like she was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to get transferred or anything, which was a possibility, but I'm probably not going to get transferred anywhere where I couldn't get a job back here again. And so she was like, fuck it. Or she worked for the schools, I should say, not just the government. She worked for schools, which she was a secretary, which is really easy to be able to get, you know, to say that that's a pretty reliable job. Usually they don't shut down public schools. So, yeah. She was like, yeah, I'm probably going to be here for quite a bit of time. Probably not going to have this job get swept up from under me and need to move across the country or something. And so she started paying off the house.
I'm preying on this fool's downfall.
I completely agree that that's probably
No.
that's absolutely true.
No.
But I think there's another way to describe the events as the triggering event would be you announcing that you are actively investigating and reaching out to people in his life
sexual abuse
before you finish doing that.
For
And
sexual
that's
abuse.
just-
For
that's just-
sexual abuse.
That'll freak the fuck out of anybody. So.
Oh my god.
I don't think I don't know. I think if you fuck everybody you work with,
Oh my god.
this shit's gonna happen.
Oh my god. Except it's never happened. It's literally never been a question ever until the person who wanted to bring it up was somebody that I'm not fucking. Like, there's never even been a whiff, a hint of sexual impropriety with anything related to me. The only person who's brought up is somebody that I've never had sexual contact with before.
It's freaky, but this is why most people don't fuck a bunch of people they work with.
And also, a lot of people fuck people they work with. You just haven't fucking heard about it because you're either naive or nobody talks to you because you're a creepy rapist.
Whoa, whoa. That was, whoa, Jesus Christ. Holy shit.
People, when somebody says like, hey, I think you're abusive, or I think you're letting people get torn apart around you for your own amusement, most people don't react the way he does, which is say, well, it's not my problem.
God
okay,
damn.
well, now it is. I don't know what to tell you. I tried to talk about it with him, and the sex stuff is separate from me, but like these are risky behaviors that if you, most people professionally don't engage in them. I think Abba was talking about this with him. He was like, well, it's not really a good idea to like mix sex and your professional life, right? Because this is like what happens. It's like, yeah, if you do that enough and you're powerful enough, somebody's going to come along and say, and I'm not the first person to do this. I think I'm like the third or fourth person. Maybe third person? Maybe is it just Bob 7? I don't know. I know I have predecessors who are like, somebody needs to call out what's happening.
Did Bob 7 even, hold on, I don't even remember what Bob 7 accused me of.
I'm pretty sure he did accuse him of having inappropriate sexual relationships. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. That it was he was abusive to women and was trying to like manipulate them. But then Bob 7 was really the one who was trying to manipulate women.
Did Bob 7 accuse me of sexual impropriety, or was he just leaking a ton of personal information? I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember what that
I think he was accusing him of. I'm pretty confident he was accusing him.
would set that story off.
Here, let's just look it up. Bob 7 Destiny. Wait, did he? It says, I'm going over a summation. Shit talked, what did Bob 7 do? Shit talked Destiny and Melina to Bose and other girls, shared personal information that Melina confided in with him. He was trying to say that Destiny was abusive towards Melina and that he couldn't be trusted and shit, right? That's what he was doing? I think that's what he did, right? So maybe it wouldn't be exactly the same because it was only abusive towards Melina, not other women.
Yeah, I don't think Bob.
But not sexual? Yeah, maybe that's right. Maybe it was just like mean or rude behavior. I thought it had a sexual connotation because I thought there was a reason why he was only telling only women outside of trying to sleep with them.
7 ever accused me of anything like sexually improper. I think he just called me like a manipulator and shit. Also, who are these 3 or 4? Like, who else did this? Besides
Anna?
Max. It wasn't, I don't think Bob 7 did. That's just not true. Who else is Max is saying this? I hope they're going to ask him. They're not. They're going to let him skirt by with that. Skirt.
So, yeah, it's scary, but like...
Did Zerka accuse him of this? I think he might have only done it if he did it during the Anna situation. I know the Trail of Coom came from somewhere, right? Destiny is the Trail of Coom? Is that what it is? What was the thing? I've heard people say that Destiny is just like, I don't know. I'd have to remember.
Like, that's not my fault.
Destiny is
Well,
red
the thing I
pill
was saying wasn't the fact that you're doing it. It's just saying the fact that
He's just
you're
lying here.
thinking
He's
you're doing it
what
before
a
you finished.
What a Weasley
Because
little
then,
liar.
because if you were to be like wrong or something, it's just unfair to.
I'm not.
to
I'm
say
not.
that.
I'm gonna write the article either way. I'm not
Okay.
wrong. I can't be wrong. He's openly abusive. And anybody who doesn't understand that just doesn't understand that, like what's happening.
God. Oh
Okay.
my God, dude! I'm
okay.
praying on this fool's downfall. For real, for
this
real, for
question is from,
real.
somebody
Dead
that's
ass.
surprising,
On God.
Rare.
I don't know, man. It just doesn't feel like he's open to outside input on this, like at all. It feels like he's just dead set on this. No matter what anybody says, he's gonna believe what he believes, and that's it. Like he can't be convinced otherwise.
Question that's been sent to me that seems to be in your favor. I think they just want me to make this statement, I guess.
It's a quest statement.
Quest statement.
If he's such a master manipulator, why is every girl saying he's a creep and telling Destiny he DM'd them? I understand this isn't the purpose of this.
There's a lot of that. There's a lot of double talk about me. He's a master manipulator, but it's obvious. He's doing this maliciously, but he's also doing it because he's narcissistic and thinks he's doing the right thing.
I feel like we're getting too much into
I'm just reading everything that people sent me.
I
actually
have like a laundry list of these types of questions that I only presented two of which, and I was going to save those all for the end. So can we move on to Benny now? And then if we have time and we're ready to go through all of these types of questions that we get, like we should save them for the end. I think we're probably not going to have time for all of them, unfortunately.
Can we move on to Benny now?
Yeah.
Fuck, somebody should just drag me into this. No, I should have just asked the
pressing.
questions. I should have just asked the questions.
Was the Trail of Victims from the
with the end
original
of my
Anna
segment
cycle?
here, I just want to say,
My segment.
I hope you haven't picked out a charity for the reward for the Mortal Kombat fight because Chad, ADHD Foundation, is going to get that $50. Take it away, Ben.
It's not gonna happen.
We'll see. Thank you. That's all. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay. I have a few questions. The first one is, you've said multiple times that Destiny is saying the things that he's saying about you now to smear you. Do you think there's any possibility that he has changed his mind on you with new information, just as your opinion of him has changed?
It's possible, but I had a private call with him after his nuclear stream, where he told me that he smeared me.
He said those words?
I said, you're smearing me and Lav, and he said, no, I just smeared you.
Do you think that when he said, I just smeared you, that he was saying, I was saying things about you that I don't believe in order to discredit you?
Yes.
Man, I hope they recorded that call. When we had a call,
okay. First things first. There's no way I believe Destiny didn't record that call. Why? Oh, wait. He was on stream, wasn't he? That's why he might not have recorded the call. Because I think under normal circumstances, there's no way he didn't record the call. He was like on stream and then he like muted stream, didn't he? Or something? He went AFK on stream? I thought that's what might have happened, actually.
conversation was over who I was attacking. And I said I wasn't attacking Lav or Anna. I was focusing my attacks on you. And I was. That was true. But we didn't have a conversation because Max wouldn't talk to me privately. That's not true. You can't call it a conversation.
Avocado
Lav
adorable. I
begged
guess
for
you
him
could
to join
say
the call
that,
for like an hour. He joined at the very end when I said Lav was self-harming if he didn't join. And then he sat there in silence for 10 minutes.
Back from doing laundry, we can't have that conversation today, man. I'm juiced out.
Okay. You don't think it's possible that when he said that, he was just saying, yes, I said a lot of bad things about you, but I believe that those bad things are true?
It's possible, but my understanding was that he was
How likely do you think that that's the case?
0%. My understanding was.
He said that he was just saying, yes, I said a lot of bad things about you, but I believe that those bad things are true?
It's possible, but my understanding was that he was.
How likely do you think that that's the case?
0%.
So then not possible. Why do you even say that?
I'm rounding.
Oh, okay.
0.0 0.001%.
Nice,
So
good
you think
faith.
that Destiny actually doesn't think that you're a rapist?
Right.
Even though you said that you are one, and that you're a manipulator and abuser, even though he's been saying that for months. You think that he purely just went on his stream to say that because he's afraid that you're going to uncover something that's true about him being abusive and potentially sexually abusive, even though nobody else has ever really made that claim about him before.
No, I'm not making any claim about why he's doing it.
You just said that he's
You
doing
just
it
said
to
I was
smear you,
malicious, to
and
smear
saying-
you.
You're making an interpretation of his psychology about why he's smearing me that I'm not signing on to. I don't agree with your interpretation, but I don't want to make my
Smear
own.
implies intent.
Okay.
You don't
That's not what you
accidentally
said, 'cause I
smear
asked you
somebody.
If you took that to mean that he's saying things about you that he doesn't believe and you agreed to that.
He's using words so weirdly. Or maybe he's smearing me on accident. Smearing is an intentional spreading of misinformation, right? Like if I say something about you and it's not true, but I didn't know, I don't think people would generally say like, oh, you're smearing me. I mean, I guess you could, but like in common parlance, if somebody says, oh my God, John is smearing me at the office, then the interpretation
Can
is, oh, wow,
Ahrelevant
he's
see these comments? Yeah, I can.
intentionally, maliciously spreading.
Doesn't have to be online. No, I'm not gonna. I have no time in my free life. I'm literally, as soon as I'm done with this, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna come back from the gym. I'm gonna eat for like an hour or two, make food, and then eat, and then do all the shit that I have to do after the stream, like doing laundry and stuff. Because yeah, I have to, do a bunch of shit. I do like all my chores after the gym, so it takes me like 2.5 hours, and then I obviously listen to music and stuff just to relax a little bit. Then I start coding for like 3 to 4 hours, and then I have to start winding down to go to bed. That is my day-to-day schedule.
Information about you to damage your character.
That's what smearing is.
What are you going to eat? Shit like this. I've been eating a lot of meat. The seasoning bangs, bro. Been eating a lot of meat. Because that's a decent way to get protein.
Destiny is saying things about me that he does not actually believe. You're additionally speculating about why he's doing that, and I don't agree with your speculation, and I don't want to make my own speculation.
Wait, what?
Okay, so you do think that he's saying things that he doesn't believe, but you don't know why he's doing it. Or you don't want to say why he's doing it.
Tim to talk Titanic? Or time to talk Titanic? Time to talk Titanic?
I don't want to say why he's doing
Jesus.
it. I have ideas about why he's doing it. I don't know why he's doing it, but I'm
Is that well done?
extremely confident that he is doing it.
Based.
Why don't you want to say why he's doing it?
Because it's not relevant.
It's not relevant. I feel like, being that this is an interrogation stream, I feel like it would do a lot of good for a lot of people to understand you if you explain why you think Destiny's saying the things that he's saying about you, if you're saying that he's lying. And if you don't, then people are just going to say that you're throwing out a baseless accusation about him lying, and that
I think it's transparently. I think it's transparent that he's lying. So if you don't think he's lying, nothing I say about it is going to convince you.
it's like the sky is blue.
Yes.
Bad answer. Here's the next question. Do you
Based
feel like your
Benny.
ban has made you less empathetic and contributed
Based.
to the destruction of some relationships?
Oh, dude, you're
And the
so
growth of your
funny,
career?
man.
No.
No. Well, I did a little bit of research before the stream, and I watched the conversation that you had with Stardust, the first one. Well, not the first one. The one about the how to say no to sex video. That first one. You familiar?
The first one of the two that destroyed our relationship. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think during that conversation, you said that ever since your ban, you've been a lot less empathetic towards people.
Uh-oh.
So, why are you saying? Oh, actually.
Uh-oh.
So even though you're less empathetic, you don't think that that's caused some friction in the relationship that you made in the streaming world?
I don't think I was permanently made less empathetic by being banned from YouTube. I think what I was saying is that I was extremely angry and very impatient with people, and that I found myself just wanting to shit on people who were pissing me off. That for a couple weeks. I wasn't saying YouTube has permanently transformed me into a less empathetic person.
Okay.
I was saying I don't have patience for your shit right now because I'm fucking furious.
Okay. Here's my next question. Oftentimes, when Destiny would criticize you for how you spoke to, treated a woman in a conversation, you would, and sometimes Shaylin does this, default to this idea that somehow Destiny was being benevolently sexist. Why do you think this is, and do you recognize that this makes you look misogynistic and undermines your current investigation?
I reject this
Benny, Jesus Christ,
term,
man.
default to. That implies that I don't actually think that, or that I don't actually think it for a real reason. I'd like to strike that from the record.
West
Sometimes
statement.
you would use that reason
Yeah.
why Destiny is saying what he's saying.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that sometimes when Destiny is defending a woman, he is being sexist towards that woman.
Specifically,
What?
when you guys were talking about the conversation that you had with Stardust,
Yeah,
it
he was
seemed
saying
like
he was saying I should hold her boundaries for her and caretake her in a way.
and it seemed like he was saying that you should do that because you had less stake in the conversation and she
Yeah.
was like more vulnerable. Why do you think that that's a lie or some sort of self-deception?
I don't think it's well, it's not. I don't think she did have more stake in the conversation. I think I had quite a lot at stake. So I think he was not recognizing my vulnerability there. I think it's a lie. I think he's just wrong about me.
Yeah, but even if he's wrong, that doesn't mean that the reason why he's saying it is because she's a woman. He could be wrong and still actually believe that she had more.
You're asking me crisscrossing multiple questions at the same time, and I don't know.
My vulnerability in the conversation.
Damn, that was
conversation
close
was
to
her
death.
setting up sexual boundaries to keep herself because she'd had bad sexual experiences related to non-consensual rape in the past. How do you have more at stake in that conversation than she does? What?
I don't think I'm asking you.
Oh, they talk about the
I'm asking
Stardust
you,
conversation. Yeah.
Why?
You're doing this to know you are. You're asking me the same thing you did earlier when you said, "Is he lying about you?" and why is he doing that? And then psychologically, why is he doing that? And you're doing the same thing now. You're saying, how is he wrong about you? But also, how does that relate to his relationship to women in general? And how does that relate to your relationship with women in general? Do you see how that contradicts what you're saying about women in your investigation? They're all multi-layered and intertwined. And when I try to answer one part, you switch to another, and I don't want to do it. So can you just pick one?
Okay. I'll pick one. Okay. Can I build off of it after you answer it?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think that Destiny is being sexist? Did you think Destiny was being sexist in the conversation that you had about Stardust? In regards to him saying that you should take care of her emotions.
I've noticed a pattern of Destiny being kind of conflict avoidant and sexist towards women in telling me how I should manage them. This conversation was one data point in a constellation of things he has said to me about women that make me think that. So
I like how I'm abusive and like benevolently sexist at the same time.
But when it happens over and over again, eventually I get the idea of like, okay, I think that this is like how he treats or thinks about women. And one criticism I have.
Well, no, the weird part is that he's benevolently sexist at the same time as apparently liking to humiliate women in public. That's the weird thing. So he constantly infantilizes women and like tries to give them like a lot of charitability and thinks that they're weak and fragile and need to be taken care of. But he also like comes at the idea of like women getting humiliated and embarrassed. That's the weird thing.
Out of that is that yes, I think he's benevolently sexist.
The funny thing is that like the person that I was probably the most charitable to ever in the history of this fucking stream was probably Mrgirl, right? Like probably even more so than fucking Sneeko.
Okay.
I don't know. He was pretty charitable to Lav, to be perfectly frank. I think he was way more charitable to Lav than he should have been. And I'm not saying that the reason why is because she was a woman. I don't know why, but I also could imagine I could come up with some people that he didn't. Well, I mean, he was really charitable to Mrgirl as well, but like Lav is just, she was so stupid so often, and then it felt like the only time that he doubled down on her not being smart was after the blow up of the relationship. And by relationship I mean the friendship or partnership of like peer, like they had a falling out.
Do you recognize that this makes you look misogynistic?
When I'm saying that I shouldn't caretake women?
No, when you're saying that every time Destiny has a criticism about how you talk about women, that, well, not every time, but a lot of the time when Destiny gives you criticism about how you talk to women, that it's actually because he's sexist. Do you understand that a lot of people will see you as being misogynistic for having that type of perspective?
Because he's trying to be too nice?
Wait, what the fuck?
I don't think I do understand. I don't understand, no.
I'm just going to move on to the next question.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk recently about your that video that you made about the Tinder story, and how you said that you raped that girl. Do you think, I mean, are you saying prescriptively that it's okay to break through a woman's actual or stated boundaries in a sexual interaction?
Just to be clear, the Tinder story is, girl and I come home, first date, hot and heavy, she's naked, she positions herself on top of me, penis at entrance to vagina, touching entrance to vagina, says, I'm not ready. I hesitate, she gives me a look that makes me think that she wants me to do it anyway, and I push her down on top of me, we have sex. And then all goes smoothly, and she asks me to see her again a couple weeks later. That's the story. In the context, the video was about how consent is complicated, and I was saying there are times where technically consent has been violated, but psychologically or empathetically probably it hasn't been, even though technically it's rape, and this was a story I told as an example of that. Then there's times where consent hasn't been violated technically, but empathetically and psychologically it probably is rape. So the question is, was I telling the story to suggest to people that they should ignore verbal rejection or verbal sexual boundaries? No. I would not advise that.
So you think that you did something wrong in that video?
No, he didn't. He read the look. Say no.
Or you did something that's inadvisable?
Inadvisable,
I
sure.
don't even know if it's inadvisable. I just don't advise it.
What?
No.
Based answer.
I've never given you advice
Based.
to drink water either. That doesn't mean I think it's inadvisable. I just haven't advised you to do it.
Would you advise me to drink water?
No,
I don't know.
I don't know your medical
You
history.
don't know if you would advise me to drink water?
Betty had the same reaction I did, which is, what the fuck are
My
you
content is
talking
really about giving
about?
people advice to drink water. I don't think that's my role, and certainly my role in talking about consent is complicated. If I'm saying, like, I'm going to talk about consent in a really fucked up, confusing way, I think I'm kind of relinquishing my role as, and I'm going to give you advice as a sex educator. I can't really fuck a doll's severed head in front of you and then be like, also, here's how you navigate consent. I'm relinquishing that. Talking, this is strictly commentary about like descriptive observations and life experiences, and I've stepped away from.
All right, I think I'm done with this. I've seen enough. Okay. I'll be done for the day. I appreciate all the people that came through. Been streaming for roughly 5 hours. I enjoyed going through the science stuff on the Twitch stream. I enjoyed doing that when we went through some of the not typical drama content or whatever. We're probably going to start doing that a little bit more, but something that we're definitely going to start doing is that giveaway. I will announce inside of my Discord how it works. I'm going to be giving away Xbox Game Pass passes. They're 1 month, only activatable inside of the United States of America, and I should be giving away in 2 days or 3 days. I'm going to be. I was going to be giving away 6 on YouTube and 6 on Twitch, but if I decide to do it through a form, I'm obviously just going to give away all 12 through that. If you want to stay updated on how that is going, follow me follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. I think my Twitter's linked down below. I know my Discord is linked down below. My Twitter's, oh yeah, it is. There it is. Okay. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and go because I need to go to the gym. I need to eat some things pre-gym. And yeah, so it's been a successful stream. I want to thank everybody who came along, people who subbed on Twitch, people who became members and donoed on YouTube, and to the people who liked. Thank you so much. I'll be back tomorrow. Go to my Twitch channel if you want more content that isn't pretty much just Destiny shit. Yeah, there's my Twitch channel. All right, I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good rest of your day. I wish you the best. Bye.